Welcome back, Romantic Home family, and welcome if you all are new. I am Olivia Flavia's Romantic Home, and in today's video I am over the moon excited to share with you guys 40 DIY Dollar Tree spring Easter decor crafts. We're going to be doing wreaths, garlands, so many different little fun easy projects, some treats, all the fun things to get you guys ready for spring and Easter. And these are going to be so many different styles. This is a binge worthy compilation video, so if you guys love to just press play and binge watch some crafting over the weekend, or no matter where you guys are at in your day, this video is for you. I've already started my I Love Spring series, so this is going to be episode 3 as I reset my studio and get ready for another huge crafting session for you guys next week. Super excited for that. We have been snowed in, so it's been crazy weather, and then next week it's going to be in the 60s, so I guess that's spring for you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's totally free. It helps us mom out so much. I'm a full-time content creator. Thank you to everybody that's been ordering cakes out of my Etsy shop. You guys, I'm almost sold out. I have one big cake left, but I know so many of you guys wanted some of those big cakes, so check it out. Here's a little sneak preview of some of the ones, the new designs I'm working on. These have the all original Love Shack fancy wallpaper on them. These are fake bake treats, so we can enjoy these year-round, calorie-free. I love the fake bake stuff, and I've also been making some minis with little crowns because we are all God's princesses and daughters. So I hope you guys are here for it. I'm also gonna be sharing that devotional with you all at the end. Thank you so much for being here. I love y'all so much. And without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. For the first DIY, I want to share with you all how to create a super adorable jelly bean peep arrangement. So you're going to need 6 bags of little 98-cent jelly beans, a large cylinder vase. I found this one at Walmart, and then a smaller Dollar Tree vase to pop down inside of your larger vase. You're going to use 3 bags of your 98-cent speckled jelly bean eggs. You can also find these at Dollar Tree, I'm sure. And then I'm going to use these cute little pink peeps. Now the Peeps came from Walmart, and they're $1.28 for a pack, and I did use 2 packs for this entire project of the pink ones and then 2 packs of the yellow ones, and they were so perfect. They slid directly down into this cylinder vase without me even having to pull them apart. I was worried when I pulled them apart you'd be able to see like the little marshmallows, but they just slide directly down inside of there. Now there was a little bit of a gap back behind my Peeps, and I knew I needed to fill in the next layer with more jelly beans, and I only had 3 more packs of jelly beans. So I came up with the idea to take some little mini marshmallows and kind of stuff those back behind my Peeps. So in case that happens to you guys, there's a solution for that. Okay, so now I'm just going to add in my next 3 bags of jelly beans and then another layer of Peeps. And how fun and fabulous is this, you guys? Oh my goodness, this is so perfect to do with kiddos or grandkids, and I was just so amazed with this. I don't know, I guess little things get me. But anyway, I went ahead and added that next layer of Peeps, and then I just added in some pretty little fresh flowers. So here is how it looks after I got my whole vase done. So fun and easy to do. And then I trimmed off my flowers so they kind of dropped perfectly down into there. And these are just some little fresh wildflowers from Walmart. They sell them like $4 a bundle, and I used 2 bundles to fill up the Dollar Tree vase. Now, hindsight 2020, it probably would have been a better idea to have used fake wildflowers, but I'm already running low on some of my fake flowers, and I just wasn't thinking about it. But now I'm wondering how I'm going to change the water out to put new flowers in. So comment down below if you guys have a good idea on how I'm going to be able to change that water out without disturbing my Peeps vase. I'm thinking maybe I could use a shop vac. Would that be weird to do? Anyway, comment down below. I'll be interested to see what you guys say. So here is how it turned out though. So adorable and springtime fabulous. And again, just such an easy, fun little DIY. I have been wanting to try this forever, and I was so excited to finally have the opportunity and that it actually worked fairly easily. So again, the larger vase was from Walmart, and that smaller one that dropped down into it was from Dollar Tree. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take 6 of those foam eggs, and the Dollar Tree foam eggs come 6 to a pack. And then I'm going to take this beautiful Mackenzie Childs napkin, and I'm going to create some really unique, beautiful eggs. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge and add a layer of Mod Podge to my foam egg. And then I'm going to take the napkin and overlay it onto the egg. Now, I did not pull the napkin apart from the white inner layer of the napkin. So a napkin usually has an inner layer on the back of it and then the pretty part on the front. I feel like it leaves more of the little flower napkin available to view in its original color if I leave that white part on. I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to explain. But I do have to add a little bit more Mod Podge to it, so it kind of makes it maybe a little bit more wrinkly, but in my opinion, it's worth it to keep those vibrant colors. So I just got one layer done, and then I'm cutting out the next layer. Now, a good little trick too is to wash your hands in between, like as you're adding things on. That way the glue from your fingers doesn't pull up the other side of your napkin. That's just a little tip. I know somebody said they were having a hard time with one of their projects because the napkin was pulling up. If you try to keep your hands without glue on them, which is kind of hard to do when you're Mod Podging a small project like that, but maybe that will be a little tip to help you. So again, you want to lay down a layer of Mod Podge underneath your napkin, and then I add a generous layer on top of it. It does make it to where though they need to dry for quite some time. So it took several hours for these little cuties to dry. Now I'm going to use another Mackenzie Childs napkin, and that floral napkin was from Mackenzie Childs as well. But this one I'm going to do a check one. So I'm just using the black and white check napkin. And again, I did buy the napkins off the Mackenzie Childs website, but I will tell you that a pack of their napkins has lasted me an entire year worth of projects. All the DIYs I've shared with you guys, I've used that same old pack of napkins. So just to let you guys know about that, they're really fun to craft with. But you guys can also find pretty napkins at Dollar Tree, Tuesday Morning, TJ Maxx, Target, Walmart has some beautiful napkins. So just keep your eye out, find something you love and go for it. And again, I'm doing the same process here, except for I did not cut the napkin apart. I'm just laying it down in one huge layer because I do have a bunch more eggs to do and I wanted to get this show on the road. Now, it did make it a little bit lumpy in the back part, but it wasn't too bad. And I'm just going to pop it into a floral anyway, so I was okay with that. But if you want to get particular and cut it out, you can do that as well. So whatever works and whatever you decide to do. Now here it is, popped into my cute little Easter display, and I was so crushing on it. Oh my goodness. And I cannot wait to share with you guys a step-by-step tutorial on how to put together this entire Easter display. Oh my goodness. So much blooming fun for spring. Now for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys a super creative and fun way to use these Dollar Tree paper butterflies. So they come in a huge pack, and I buy them and I never quite know what to do with them. But here's a fun thing you can do. You can take a mini clothespin and hot glue that mini clothespin to the back of your butterfly. And they may even stick with just Elmer's glue. I'm just thinking about that now. If you were trying to do this with kids and you didn't want to use hot glue, but they may need some drying time. Anyway, I like the instant results of hot glue, but I decided to go a little bit extra and add some bling to the wings of my butterfly, which I thought was so fun and fabulous. So Dollar Tree sells these beautiful bling jewels, and they come on an adhesive pack. And so all you have to do is cut the jewels apart, and you can make them fit the size of your project, which is really nice as well. And the adhesive works really well on paper. I did these on glass pumpkins during fall, and my adhesive on some parts didn't quite go as well as planned, so I had to use extra glue. When you're putting them on paper, I haven't found a problem with them pulling up, so no big deal there. And then I really blinged out my larger butterflies, and then with the smaller butterflies, I just did one strand of bling jewels. The other thing that you guys can do is take some of these butterflies and glue them on top of each other. So the smaller ones glue on top of the larger butterfly. I did that with a couple of mine, and it's going to give it almost like a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional effect, depending on how many butterflies you glue on there. So that's just another little fun tip, but have fun with it, get creative, get that bling out, and make some beautiful butterflies. And these are going to pop perfectly into my spring display. So here is how my butterflies turned out, and then I just popped the clothespin open and they're ready to pop into a beautiful display. And then there's those pretty eggs that we just made with a little decoupage on them, and I just thought that they really brought this display to life. They made it very artistic and creative. And then there's one of my little 2-dimensional butterflies, so you can see that the wings were kind of popped out. So here's kind of like a little bit of an overview. I love the added effects of the butterflies. I don't think I've ever used butterflies in one of my displays before, but my daughter was really loving it as well. So if you have kiddos, add some of those little whimsical touches. It will really catch their eye and bring a smile to their face. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super cute, super easy little Dollar Tree popsicle stick cross. So you're going to take 3 popsicle sticks and then hot glue 2 of the popsicle sticks together to make the long part of your wooden cross, and then let that dry for just a sec or two. And then once that's dry, you can pop another dab of hot glue onto the top part of it and create the cross part. Now, if you're doing this with kiddos, help them with the hot glue part, but you guys could also use Elmer's glue and then just give it some drying time. And then the next step is to get creative and personalize your cross. Paint it or add some jewels to the center to it, or, you know, a little saying, whatever it is you want to add to your cross. I knew that I wanted to paint mine and pop mine into my bunny basket right next to my mantle. And so I'm painting mine with some white chalk paint, and the chalk paint, I only needed to use 1 layer and it absorbed really nicely and looked just fine. You could also wood stain this with like a little bit of, you know, wood rub or a wood stain, and that would be really nice as well. So personalize it to suit your fancy and to match into your decor. And I will tell you that I did paint both sides of my cross. You could also double up with the popsicle sticks and make it a little bit thicker if you wanted to. That was an idea that just popped into my head as I was thinking about this. So have fun with it and get creative. Again, this would be a great project for kiddos or all ages. I love finding projects that everybody can do together and that are really inexpensive and budget friendly. So this was a fun, easy cross, and you guys can really personalize it and make it your own. And then once I had painted my cross and I let it dry for a bit, I decided to dig through my jewel stash and find a pretty bling jewel to go into the center of it. And I wanted to make it really special. You could also make it a memory cross and do like your loved one's brooch or a pretty jewel piece, but I'm just going to add a dab of hot glue to either side of my bling jewel. And this is a bling jewel from totallydazzled.com. You guys, I love Natalie. She is such a sweetie pie. She's a small business and I love supporting small businesses. So check her out. I'll leave the link in the description box below for you. But here is how it turned out. I thought it was so pretty and magical and just beautiful. And then I I popped it into my little Easter bunny basket. I just felt like that was just the perfect addition to show my faith and to really make it dazzling and beautiful. And for my little bunny to be carrying that, and I think it really shows in with the display as well. So here it is popped in to my display. Now for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys how to take one of those Dollar Tree big giant oversized Easter egg signs, and the sign is really cute as is, but I did buy a couple of extra to make some crafts with. I wanted to make a black and white check Mackenzie style child's style inspired sign. So I'm just chalk painting it front and back white, and I believe I did chalk paint the front twice to get really nice good coverage over those letters. And then the next step, of course, will be to paint some checks on here. So if you guys have not tried painting checks, I'm going to tell you it's really relaxing, especially if you relax and give yourself some grace. So I'm just taking this ruler and I'm drawing some black lines, but I will tell you I probably should have drawn my lines a little bit thicker. It gets a little bit more tedious if you have a lot of checks to paint, but I did have some time on my hands, so no biggie there. So I'm just drawing my horizontal lines, and you could also use painter's tape to space this out as well. I've done that before too. And then now I'm drawing my little vertical lines, and I do like to start out in the center of my project, and then I'm taking this black Sharpie and I'm marking an X for where I need to paint. Now I don't suggest actually doing that because I could kind of see the X showing through some of my paint, so it maybe kind of had to add extra paint. But if you have a tendency to jump the pattern, which I also do sometimes as well, it's not a bad idea. So I guess you could just kind of make like a little dot might be better than the big X. But now I'm just going to take my paintbrush, which I do like to buy a paintbrush about the size of my checks. And this paintbrush I love. I think I bought it at Walmart. But I just lay down a layer of black paint, and I do like to drag my brush in with a little bit of white paint to kind of give it some dimension as well. So now that I have my black checks painted, I like to go in with a little bit of white and gold paint on my brush. I don't wash my brush, I leave it with the black paint on there, and then I just drag that white and gold paint through my black check. Now if you study the Mackenzie Childs patterns, their artists are all doing hand painted black and white checks as well, and so you can see little imperfections in the work. And so really this doesn't have to be a perfect project. You want to see some imperfections and you want to see some of the paint lines. Also, I noticed that they use like a cream color, so you may want to use a cream color as your base instead of the bright white, but have fun with it, get creative and paint some pretty checks, and then get creative with it again and drag your brush through some white and gold paint just to give it kind of some dimension. Now this step is extra, you can just do black and white checks too. But whatever floats your boat and whatever suits your fancy. And again, this is a fun project, and I want to encourage you guys. It's only a $1 sign, so not much to be lost if you feel like you messed up, and that's what white paint is for, any of your mess ups. So here is popped into my little display, so fun and fabulous, and a nice little accent against some of the pastel. Now for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys how to create a super adorable bunny. So this is just one of those Dollar Tree plastic bunnies, and they come actually where you can kind of pull them apart, so you can actually have two bunnies, and they're fun to play with. I'm just going to lay down a layer of white chalk paint to start out with, and that's going to be my base color. I do love using chalk paint. A lot of you will ask me about that. It's because it dries fairly quickly, and it also will adhere to a plastic surface or a surface that's maybe kind of rough, and so that helps as well. So for my bunny, I decided to do a Mackenzie Childs inspired bunny. I have been drooling over their beautiful bunnies in their catalog. If you guys sign up for their catalogs, they'll send them to you for free if you just use your email. So I decided to draw black and white striped checks down my black and white stripes down my bunny, but I felt like my stripes were a little wobbly, so I decided to make it into some checks and to do some black and white check bunnies. Black and white checks on my bunny. Anyway, so I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm just going to begin to paint every other square black and then leaving the other square white. And then I like to go back in and drag my brush through the white and gold paint and layer that over the black. That's how I paint my checks, and I think it turns out pretty cute. So anyway, just have fun with it and get creative. Now you're going to be able to tell that this is a little bit more of a challenge to do checks on a curved project rather than a flat project. But I wanted to share with you guys, there's that Mackenzie Childs little catalog, and they do come free in the mail if you sign up with your email. If you guys want to do that. I just love getting them in the mail for every season. They're really beautiful. They're almost like a little magazine to me. But their bunnies on there, they did the whole bunny in black and white checks. So I end up doing that with this bunny, but it comes out pretty cute in the end. Anyway, have fun with it. Paint some checks on your little Dollar Tree plastic bunny. Again, it's only $1 bunny. If you guys mess up, just use a little white paint over it. It's not too super big of a deal. So I did decide to go in and paint my entire bunny with black and white checks on its face. Now, I'm not sure that was the best idea, but I think it ended up turning out pretty cute. But the black and white checks do kind of like make the face a little bit funky, but I do go back in and paint a nose and some eyes to kind of offset a little bit of that. So I'm painting my little checks here, and then I made like little striped edges on my ears. And then for my ears too, I do go back in and use some pink paint. Now, after I get all of my black checks painted, I go back in and usually mix in a little bit of white and gold and drag that through my black checks. But now I'm just painting my cute little pink nose and pink ears with some acrylic pink paint. And then I did give my bunny some blue eyes originally, but I kind of obsessed over the eyes. They were pretty tricky to do, and so my eyes ended up turning gray. Anyway, I like to go in with a Deco Art premium paint pen. I buy these off of Amazon. I'll link some in my store, but I also get them at Michael's some too. You can use your coupon. They're really a nice paint pen, but Dollar Tree also carries a pretty nice little gold paint pen as well. So I went all the way around my bunny to make him super fancy and glammed up and bling with his gold, fanciness. And then there's me still trying to get those eyes right. Okay, so I added a pink bow, a little satin bow to the center of his neck, and then a beautiful bling jewel. You guys know me, I love my bling. I just think it adds a lot of really sparkle and shine. I just loved a nice bit of sparkle and shine. And here's how those packs of bling jewels come. I'll leave a link in my description box for the bling jewels. Natalie is amazing if you want to support a small business. Now for the next DIY, I thought it would be fun to mix things up a little bit and share a treat with you guys. This is a fun little Easter snack treat. It's a sugary treat, so beware. It's what they call Easter Bunny Chex Mix. So we're going to take 1 cup of chocolate chips, put that in a microwave safe bowl, half a stick of butter, pop that into your bowl as well, and then half a cup of peanut butter. Okay, this is going to be so delicious, you guys. I can't even tell you, it's so addictive. But again, it is a very sweet treat, so beware, only for treat's sake. Okay, the next thing I want to use is a teaspoonful of vanilla extract, and then I'm going to mix that entire mixture together. Okay, you also want to pop your little peanut butter chocolate chip mixture into your microwave for a minute. It's going to go in there for a minute long. Okay, then you're going to stir everything up here, give it a nice little stirry stir. And I did switch to a whisk because I really felt like my chocolate needed to be nice and stirred in there. Now, in a larger bowl, you're going to have all of your Chex mix, but use a super large bowl. I made the mistake of not using a large enough bowl. You're going to need to stir. They suggested on the recipe to use a covered bowl and then just shake it up, but I don't have a covered bowl, so I'm doing my best here. Okay, so I'm adding the little chocolate drizzle, yummy goodness over the top of it, but you're going to want to kind of coat your Chex mix to the best of your ability, depending upon the size of bowl and your ability to really get it mixed in, which I was pretty determined. I ended up transferring it to my big pasta pot. So if you don't have a big pot, use your big pasta pan. That will work as well. So anyway, this is just for me and my family, so no biggie there. Now I'm popping it into my big pasta pot, and I'm going to give it another little mixy. Try not to mix too hard because I didn't want to break up the Chex mix too much. And then the next step to this is going to be adding your powdered sugar. It called for 2 cups of powdered sugar, which I felt like was a little bit too much. I would probably dial it back to maybe 1.5 cups, but this is the first time I've ever made this, so bear with me. I'm doing my best here, guys. Now I gave it another good shaky, mixy, and then I popped it back into my original little bowl there because that was the cute bowl, and I wanted to make it cute for when my fam bam came home. Okay, the next step is to add in some little fun goodies. So I just used some colorful Easter M&Ms. I found these at Walmart, and then also some sprinkles I found at Walmart. They're like $1.48 in the Easter section. So it made it really fun and festive, and this would be a great little snack to have like at a party. It's a really sugary snack, you guys. So only for treats only. I'm going to share a healthy snack next, I promise. Okay, but you can pop it into some little cute cupcakes or these little plaid little holders. I found those at Walmart for 99 cents. Okay, so for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a healthy Easter treat. So we made a super sugary treat in the last one, but now we're going to make a healthy one. You're going to take a little cookie cutter that's Easter related. I found these cookie cutters at Walmart for $1.48 for a 2-pack with the Easter head and the carrot, and you're just going to slice a watermelon and then cookie cut your watermelon. Super easy. Now I will tell you, this first watermelon I tried, I cut a little bit too thick, so I did kind of have to do some maneuvering. So if you're having a kiddo help you do this, just make sure that you're helping them, because the cookie cutter can be a little bit, sharp on one side, and you do kind of have to press it down just a bit. So I was able to get 1 bunny head and then 2 little carrots. Now this was the only size watermelon I could find at my Walmart, and so it was kind of small, but I was able to make some of them. And I will tell you that my daughter, when she came home, she was so excited for these treats, you guys. So if you have time to do some fun little Easter treats, these were really fun, and I will tell you they were really easy to do, honestly. I am not like a master chef in the kitchen by any means, so I like finding fun Easter treats, things that I can actually do. Oh, and these cute little bunny plates are the Pioneer Woman bunny plates, and they're so beautiful. They are paper, but oh my goodness, they're so beautiful, and they're on an end cap. They were kind of hidden away at my Walmart. They weren't in like the regular section, so I did a couple more of these. And again, this is a healthy snack idea, and you guys could, maybe served it with like some other little fruit mixed in with it. Once I got done, I was like, oh, I need some more fruit to pop into here. So I just popped in some little strawberries for when my daughter got home, and she could have like some little strawberries and some watermelon. And then that was a healthy treat to kind of offset the sugary bunny snack that we made. But boy, that bunny snack is delicious. Okay, so again, just making some more cute little carrot guys here. And this was easier to do with the thinner sliced watermelon. So the thinner you slice it, the easier it is to press that in. Just a little side note, if you're trying to do this with kiddos and you don't want it to make like a huge mess and for it to be hard. So here is how it turned out. So fun and fabulous. And again, those little cute little striped cups were from Walmart, and they came in like a pack for 98 cents. So I thought that was like a fun little splurge to kind of make it look a little bit more festive and Easter fun. And there's my loyal assistant, my trusty creative director, Benji Bear. He is in the studio working his magic as always, and he wants to say hi to you guys. So for the next DIY, we're going to create a beautiful mantle display on my mantle here, and I'm going to make a pretty little floral by using 2 pieces of greenery. So really just any greenery will do. And I did find this at Hobby Lobby, and they have their greenery 50% off. So that made it a little bit more price friendly, but I am going to give it a nice good fluffing here. And so I'm going to add 1 greenery to one side and then 1 greenery to the other. And you can see Benji Bear is directing the scene. He's going to tell me where to put these flowers, how much fluffing to do, how many bows we need. Really, he likes to bark at the TV. He loves watching TV, and he really likes when he sees birds come on. So anyway, I'm going to take now and really dress this mantle up by adding in some pretty little flowers. So these are just flowers that I've kind of been collecting along the way that have some pretty spring colors. I got some of them at Dollar Tree, some of them at Walmart, and then a couple of them were from Michael's clearance section. I shared with you guys my after clearance finds at Michael's. They had pretty white and pink flowers. They had a little bit of glitter and frost on them, but they were Christmas flowers. So anyway, always check your after Christmas florals. You can get such a good deal on them, and a lot of times you'll be able to reuse them for the next season. So they had them on Christmas because they had they frosted and sparkle on them. Here's one of those roses, but to me they were gorgeous. So anyway, I also added some Dollar Tree wisteria to either side of my little mantle garland display here, and I'm just continuing to pop more flowers in. And again, these are just flowers that I've been kind of collecting that have some springtime colors to them. And there's that pretty Dollar Tree wisteria. I was so excited and impressed with how that looked this year. So anyway, I'm popping the wisteria in to kind of drape down the side, and then just some pretty roses in. And there's that bird. Benji Bears goes crazy with the birds. He likes to sit in the window and watch the birds or watch them on TV. And so this is on my TV. It's just playing. If you type into your YouTube search bar, just type in spring music, and you'll have like a 2 to 3 hour loop of beautiful spring music, and it'll have like pretty scenes that are for spring. I did that for Valentine's Day. I shared with you guys as well. Now I'm popping in some of those little Dollar Tree, like little yellow and pink little glitter balls that I had they come like in like a 4 or 5 pack on a stem. And I'm also popping in some of those pretty little checkered Hobby Lobby. These are kind of like an oversized, larger egg, and I'm just tying them on to my flowers. Now, for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys how to jazz up those Target Dollar Spot carrots. So I shared with you guys in my last video that Target has these little fabric carrots for $1, which I thought that was a great deal. I've made fabric carrots of my own, but these were already pre-made and so beautiful. I can just add them into the ones I already have, but I decided to make a beautiful bow using my Easy Bow Maker, and this is about a 3-inch bow on either side if you're using your Easy Bow Maker. And I added about 3 to 4 loops. So basically I'm just making a really big beautiful bow to go on top of my carrot. So we're making a fabulous blooming carrot. I'm going to tie this bow off with a little pipe cleaner and then tie that on to my carrot, but I don't want to see the pipe cleaner. So I ended up taking some Dollar Tree pink ribbon and tying that over the pipe cleaner. That also helped secure my big bow on top of that. You could also make an Olivia bow too, just for reference. That's my little bow that I share with you guys how to make that requires no tools. So sometimes I like to get lazy and use my Easy Bow Maker, and then sometimes I like to make the Olivia bow. It just depends on how much work I've been doing and how tired my little hands are. So I'm giving my carrot a nice good fluffing, and then don't forget to dovetail your ends on your ribbon, and that's going to give you a nice little boutique finish. I think these are so beautiful, and I think that they would be so fun to make using an even larger oversized carrot. But now I'm going in with some pink ribbon, and this is just some Valentine's Day ribbon that I had left over. So really have fun with it, get creative, and use the ribbon that you might already have, or use some pretty ribbon that you find out and about. I know that everybody's been kind of having a little bit of a hard time finding Easter ribbon this year. I found some of mine at Hobby Lobby, and I also found some at Walmart. So
just have fun with it and go for it and get creative. Make a pretty little bow for the top of your carrot, and it just really jazzed it up. I was so excited for how pretty these came out. I'm going to make some more for my dining room, but they are a little bit time consuming, but so fun in the end. Now I decided at the last minute to take some of this black and white check ribbon from the Dollar Tree and tie it onto my carrot. I just made a quick little shoelace bow and I doubled up my ribbon. So if you follow me, I like to tie like a little bow like you'd be tying a shoelace, and if you take and you double up the ribbon, that will help as well. And I will leave my bow video down below for you guys as well. So you give it a nice little good fluffing, and to hang these, you can just take a satin ribbon and loop it through one of the tops of your larger ribbons, so that way your carrot will hang evenly down. I was trying to figure out in my mind how to make sure that my carrot wasn't tilted backwards, so that's the best way to do it. Just loop it through one of the top loops of your bow, and then I tied it directly on to my little mantle piece. And then again, I decided to add it into some of my other carrots. I really like the way that the black and white check looks popped in against the pastels. So I thought that was just like a fun little dimension, but you guys could just use any ribbon and whatever colors you love for your displays. Now for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make an oversized bow for your mantle or your garlands or your wreaths or whatever. So I'm going to use my easy bow maker, and I'm going to start out with this black and white check ribbon, and I'm going to go side to side in about an 8-inch loop, and then you're going to trim that first ribbon off. The next layer, I'm going to use a polka dot pastel ribbon, and I did get these ribbons from Hobby Lobby. I did splurge a little bit on these ribbons because they are going to be like my main wow factor in this garland, and so I wanted them to be a certain particular look and also a certain color. And so I also love this little yellow ribbon. So anyway, you're going to go about 8 inches, and then I went 7 inches on my pink ribbon, and then on this black and white check ribbon I went 6 inches, and then I just kind of made it a little bit smaller as I went along. That way each layer could kind of show through. And I love the easy bow maker because you can stack a really big bow without having to hold it in your hands. But you can also make a really big beautiful Olivia bow if you guys have seen that as well. So whatever floats your boat. With these layered ones, though, I do like to use my easy bow maker. So this is going to give me a lot of dimension in with my display, and it's going to help me pull all of my colors together as well. Now I'm tying it off with a little pipe cleaner, and I'm going to tie it on to the end of my mantle where the garland part is. And then the next step is to give your bows a good fluffing. So I like to buy ribbon that has wire in it, and that way you can really fluff up your bows. So the next thing I want to do is add some of my little grass to the front part of my little mantle here. So Hobby Lobby has these squares of grass, and they're $4.99, but all of their spring stuff is 40% off. So you're going to automatically get 40% off of any Easter or spring goodies. Now the next thing I'm adding in is my little basket that I made 2 seasons back, and I've shared that with you guys on another DIY video. I'm adding in my bunny and then my cute little black and white check egg, and then just some pretty florals and greenery around it. Now I do change this up just a little bit because I end up using one of these baskets over in my dining room. But here's another little nest that I made. That's one of my chicken of the sea nests. So you just take like a little tuna can or chicken of the sea can, and you just add, you know, a bunch of greenery around it until you make it into the shape of a nest. And then here's another one of my Dollar Tree DIY bunny baskets. And you guys, you can really make pretty baskets with moss and little Dollar Tree Easter baskets. So I decided to take one of these Dollar General baskets and tilt it sideways and make it look like it's like a tilted sideways blooming basket. It also is doing double duty and concealing our router that goes to our television back behind that one basket. So I did need it to be kind of big there. And then I just added another little basket. I had this from last season from Dollar General, and I tilted that one sideways as well. These are different sizes, but I think it's okay to kind of offset things just a little bit and make them different sizes. So here is how it came out. My entire mantle display. I had my cute little gnome I popped in there, and then my pretty little smaller gnome that we made using a Dollar Tree little Easter bunny. I've seen so many of you guys make so many cute DIYs with that Easter bunny, and a little basket I picked up from the thrift store, my little Target dollar spot bunny pillow. And then I just think it's blooming and ready for spring and Easter. And so I hope you guys get so much inspiration off of this and just some happy feel good vibes. Now let me know what I should do with my pink tree over there. That was my trash to treasure project. It was headed for the dumpster and I painted it pink, my little ficus tree over there. I decorated it up for Valentine's Day, but I haven't figured out quite yet what I want to do for Easter, and I did so many DIYs in this video I just wasn't able to get to it, but I hope it gives you guys some inspiration. Now, I do have a $100 Hobby Lobby gift card that I am giving away. And so I have been leaving like little secret questions for you guys all throughout this video. And I'm going to announce the winner next Saturday. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys. But the secret question for you is, what is your favorite spring character, or like just spring goodness? So when you think of spring, what do you think of? Is it like a bunny? Is it a butterfly? Like, what is your favorite little spring animal or character that you like to use in some of your displays? I really love to use bunnies. We have a lot of bunnies where I live, so we do see them in springtime. We also have butterflies, so I was inspired to use butterflies. But I would love to hear what your favorite little spring character is, or just spring animal that you love to see that gives you that little pop of spring. Of course, my absolute favorite spring character is my puppy dog Benji Bear, but the little bunnies and little birds and butterflies, they just really scream spring to me and just bring a smile to my face. So I'm interested to see what you guys comment and what really brings spring into your heart. I feel like spring is such a wonderful time for hope and love and joy, and we have so much to be thankful for every day that we pop out of bed and our eyes open and we're blessed with another day. So I just want to give you guys that and encourage you all. I am going to share a quick little recipe with you guys at the end of this video as well, so stay with me here. I know this was kind of an extra long video, but I feel like I just really wanted to give you guys so much inspiration and goodness and springtime Easter vibes. Okay, so I want to share with you guys one of my favorite things to do is to pick up one of those Caesar salad pack kits from Walmart. They are so delicious. I like to jazz mine up and add in some tomatoes and a little bit of onion, just to really kind of soup it up. and also some olives. And then I like to add in a little bit of Olive Garden dressing, and then I add in the dressing Caesar salad packet that it comes with. I then add in the croutons and some pepper and a little bit of salt, and I give it a really good mixy. So this was a family size and it fed all of us really nicely. I also did make some quick and easy chicken Alfredo to go with it. And so I thought this would give you guys an idea for maybe something to do for dinner. So for my Alfredo sauce, I usually use about 4 to 5 tablespoons of butter and then about a cup of heavy whipping cream. So I also just kind of eyeball it. So I really need to measure it out for you guys a little bit better, but I just thought it would give you guys an idea. But you're going to want to take and heat up your butter until it's really bubbling. And then you want to heat up your heavy whipping cream until it's bubbling. So once it's bubbling like this, like it's going to be really nice and bubbling, but you have to keep whisking it. That's one of the keys to making a good Alfredo. Then you're going to take some Parmesan cheese. And again, I just eyeball it, but I will say it's probably about half a cup at least. And while it's really nice and hot, you guys can see I have my temperature turned up really hot, like medium high. You're going to want to stir in that cheese and give it a good nice bubble. So once it gets kind of stirred in there and that cheese gets in and I can feel it start to thicken, I will pull it off the heat because you don't want to burn it. And I am a cook that loves to do a little bit of taste testing. So to be honest with you, I do kind of taste test along the way. That way I know the consistency and also the taste. And plus it's just so darn delicious. So anyway, I add in a little bit of garlic salt and you can see it still bubbling, but I have completely turned my burner off. So just continue to kind of give it a little bit of a mixy. And then I usually don't add my chicken directly into here, but I thought I'd just make it quick and easy for my fam bam. When they come home, they can just scoop it right out.
And then Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to share with you how to make a super beautiful, easy, blooming springtime set of plates. Okay, so from the Dollar Tree, you're going to go into their party section and pick up a pack of the white plates with the silver round circle on it, and those are going to come in a 4-pack. Then the next thing that you want to pick up is a smaller plate, and I went ahead and went with this beautiful, it's kind of like a coralish pink spring color, and I believe these came in a 6-pack. I'm just going to hot glue them directly onto the center of the silver plate. The next thing I want to do is take some of these really beautiful springtime blooming kind of aqua colored coasters from the Dollar Tree, and you just want to add a touch of hot glue to the center part and maybe even a couple of the petals. Honestly, that step is optional. These are going to be used for display purposes only. So I'm going to pop them into my pretty little cabinet. So I wanted to make several of these, and then I'm just taking my little towel and I'm gently wiping on the outside of it where any kind of the hot glue or stickiness had gotten to the plates. So I'm going to repeat those steps on the next one. Again, just hot gluing the smaller plate to the center of the larger plate and then adding in that pretty little coaster. So this was such a fun and easy craft, you guys, and it makes such a huge impact and statement. I had posted a sneak peek of this on my Facebook page and also on my YouTube, and so many of y'all were commenting, getting so excited about this DIY. I decided to put it first in the video. Number one, it's super easy to make, and what a fun way to add a pop of color. So basically you can spend $3 and you'll have 4 brand new beautiful little decor plates. And these are really great for cabinets, for decorating on walls with just, some plate holders. You guys can pick up plate holders at any craft store, really. I'm not sure if I've seen like the wall plate holders at Dollar Tree, but I've also shared with you guys a DIY on how to take and use a pipe cleaner on the back of your plate, and then you can hot glue that pipe cleaner to the back of your plate and then use that to hang it to the wall. So I'll try to share that with you guys in an upcoming video. There's a couple other steps that you need to do. Now, these are plastic plates, so
Anyway, but the sky is the limit with this, you guys. You could add them to the top of some cabinets. There's so many ways you can decorate with this, and the little floral coasters do come in other colors as well as these pretty coral plates. So have fun with it, get creative, choose the comfort colors that you love, whether it be purples or pinks or blues or yellows, whatever you love for spring. Grab those colors, make a beautiful plate, jazz up your room on a budget. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to make some beautiful indoor flowers for an indoor flower garden, and these are going to be super whimsical and beautiful. You'll need some shish kebab sticks, a couple of paper straws, some little Dollar Tree plastic plates, and some Dollar Tree coasters. So I'm going to take the little paper straw and run it down the shish kebab stick and then just gently hot glue it to the top part of the shish kebab stick, and then you'll have one part of the shish kebab stick still needing to be covered, and then I'm just going to add another little dibble dabble of hot glue here. This is going to give me an extra long kind of stem for my flower. Also, if I wanted to trim it off to where that shish kebab stick was pointy, I could use that and pop that into some floral foam inside of an indoor real houseplant. And then I'm just going to hot glue my little paper straw to the back of my little plastic plate. So these plastic plates are at Dollar Tree right now in the spring section, and I believe they're 5 to 6 to a pack. So you can make 5 to 6 of these flowers, and check out how many of the straws. I was so excited to find these, you guys. They have some really beautiful paper goods right now. And really, if you love these pastel comfort colors, this is the time to buy when everything is just naturally going to be in these spring pretty colors. The next thing I want to do is add one of those pretty little Dollar Tree aqua coasters to the center of my plate. And that's going to create my really beautiful flower. These are so fun to use. They would make such a great little decor accent in a little girl's room. They would make a beautiful decor accent in your dining room, popped into like some pretty vintage vases. I also think these colors are like really vintage chic. Now I'm going to do a purple one, and I'm going to do exactly how I did the last one. Again, just covering the little shish kebab stick with the paper straw and then hot gluing it together. Now I did try to use one of the Dollar Tree wooden dowels to do this, but the wooden dowel was too large to cover the paper plate with. But you could use a wooden dowel if that's what you have in your craft stash. Use a wooden dowel and then just take some pretty ribbon and kind of wind that around the dowel. That's just an idea if you guys maybe already have the wooden dowel in your craft stash and you don't have the paper straws. You can also find paper straws in Walmart in the party section, and I believe they're like $1 a pack. So anyway, have fun with it and get creative and make some beautiful blooming flowers. These little plastic plates came in some other colors, I believe purples and aquas, and I love this kind of corally pink color. I just love these soft pastels. They're so comforting to me, and they just seem so happy and springy. I also added some of those Dollar Tree little paper butterflies to the edges of my plate, and those come in a big pack in the Crafters Square section. But there's a ton of those in there. You could also just use some pretty little butterfly stickers. So really have fun with it and get creative. Make a beautiful, whimsical indoor flower garden. Now, I wouldn't suggest that you put the paper outside in the sun. So you'd want to do this a little bit different if you're going to put these outside. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super adorable little Dollar Tree ladder. And I'm using three total of the Dollar Tree plungers, and I just removed the bottom part of the plunger, and then I removed the sticky part of the plunger with a hair dryer. So you can set your hair dryer to high heat and heat up that sticker, and it will come off really easy. And then you can just take a bit of sandpaper and kind of sandpaper it a little bit more smooth. Now I'm taking my third plunger and I'm just going to cut the little plunger kind of in half, but I also cut like the little part off where the plunger had been attached. Now I'm just taking some hot glue and I'm going to hot glue my little wooden sticks to my plunger. You guys could also make this with paint sticks if you have those on hand, or you could even use popsicle sticks. I was going to do that until I got the idea to use the plunger. So anyway, you could use wood glue. I like the instant adherence of the hot glue, so that's what I use for that. Now I'm just going to take some of my Waverly white chalk paint, and I get my chalk paint at Walmart, and it lasts quite a while for a lot of projects, although I am at the end of my container on this DIY video, so you guys are going to see me really dig my brush in there. But this chalk paint had really good coverage. I had to use only about 1.5 coats, and really 1.5, I used one really full coat, and then I just kind of went back in and touched up any spots that I felt like were not all the way covered with a little bit more. Now you guys could really get creative again with this step and customize the colors of your ladder to suit your fancy. I decorate with a lot of whites and shabby chics and different colors like that, and I wanted it to be really springtime and fresh, so I just chose a solid white. I was going to go back in and distress it, but I decided that I just wanted to keep it white. I didn't want to use like any kind of stains or waxes, because I'm going to use some of my favorite little pretty tea towels, and I don't want them to get like anything on them. So these little ladders are great to use on your kitchen, like underneath the little area where you might be able to hang a kitchen towel on them, or maybe do like a cute little kitchen banner. Really, so many ideas. So this just was popped right directly into my little cabinet or hutch here, and then you guys can see I displayed it with some of these beautiful little tea towels, and these tea towels actually did come from TJ Maxx. They were in a 4-pack, which I felt like was a really great deal, and I shared them with you guys 2 videos back in one of my hauls. I did a big spring Easter haul for you guys. And so here's how it looks, so springtime, blooming, fabulous, and such a fun and easy little DIY that you guys can do on a budget. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you how to make a 2-tiered stand using 2 Dollar Tree burner covers, these little wooden beads, and a couple of candlesticks from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to take these little wooden beads and I'm going to hot glue them and kind of space them evenly around the burner covers. And I'm just using regular hot glue for this because I felt like that was sufficient to keep the little wooden beads onto my burner cover, and they held fairly well. You could always add a dab of E6000 glue if you were concerned about them not holding. The next thing I want to do is I am going to use E6000 glue to glue these candlesticks together. So I'm going to take some E6000 glue, and then I'm also going to use just a little bit of hot glue, but I don't use the hot glue on top of the E6000. So I kind of left some little spots where I didn't add E6000 glue, and wherever I did not add the E6000 glue, that's where I'm adding the hot glue. So you can just see me kind of dabbing it on there. The reason I use both glues is because the E6000 glue is a bonding glue, but it does take a while to dry, and so the hot glue will help the bonding glue stay together so your candlestick won't wobble around. Sometimes the E6000 glue, if you only use that, it will have a tendency to kind of slide a little bit, but suit your fancy. This is how I felt like it would be best. So now I'm going to use E6000 glue again, and again I'm leaving spots for where the hot glue can go, and I'm going to use both of these glues to then hot glue my candlestick to the other side of my burner cover, the side that I didn't put the little legs on because I want feet to kind of hold my burner cover up. And then this is where I'm going to make my stand. And then I'm going to repeat that process again here with the E6000 glue and the hot glue. Again, not putting the E6000 glue everywhere, but just leaving some spots where I could add some hot glue. So I hope that's making sense. But anyway, once you guys have these steps completed and your little project is together, I like to give it about 30 minutes to kind of just hold on there together. But the E6000 glue does take 24 hours to completely dry. Just a little side note there. The next thing I wanted to do was to take it outside and give it a quick little dusting of spray paint. And I love to use the Rust-Oleum 3X spray paint. It's about $3.97 at Walmart, but I feel like that's worth spending a little bit more over just the $1 spray paint because it really gives you really good full coverage. I was able to do this in several other projects, and this did take 2 coats. So I flipped it over and I gave it a really generous spray paint on one side, and then I flipped it back over and spray painted the other side. That way the little spots underneath could be seen as well. And here's how it is popped into my little spring Easter setting. I think these are so fun to make. Now the burner covers are sturdy, but they're not like, you know, glass sturdy. So you might want to be careful like putting tons and tons of weight on it. I think it's fine, you know, display some pretty teacups and just some really beautiful little trinkets. But I think it's a fun, great idea on a budget. For the next DIY, I wanted to share with y'all how to make a beautiful Easter plate using a clear glass plate. You guys can find these at Dollar Tree or Walmart. And then you're going to take a beautiful napkin, and I'm choosing this napkin that I found at Walmart. It's by the Pioneer Woman line, and it's actually on an end cap. It's not in with their like regular Easter stuff. So I'm just cutting the size of the plate, and I use that little cup as my guide, and then I'm going to cut out my pretty little bunny. You guys could also use a bunny treat bag or whatever, you know, thing that you wanted to glue inside of your little plate. So I gave it a generous layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to go back over it with another layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to let that dry. I actually set it out in the sun and let it dry for about an hour or two before I started my next step. And I also wanted you guys to know that they do sell bunny napkins at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys another little idea for the bunny napkin from Dollar Tree. I also do like to go ahead and take a little towel and kind of wipe around the edge. Now here's the Happy Easter bunny napkin at Dollar Tree. This was as close to as I could find to like a little bunny, cute bunny. I don't know, Dollar Tree didn't put out like any of like the really pretty bunnies, but they put out a cute bunny. So I think these would be really festive. Like, I think these are adorable bunnies too. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the little bunny head here. This step is optional. I kind of feel like maybe once I looked back on it, I could have left the little teal part on, but I did go ahead and trim it all out. And then you're going to repeat the process with, like you did the first plate. You're going to Mod Podge, and I have my plate flipped over, so we're Mod Podging on the back of our plate, and it's going to show through to the front. Now, even though we're not Mod Podging on top of the plate, I still don't suggest to use these as a food safe plate. I don't feel like these are food safe. I feel like that you guys could display maybe some little Easter candies that are wrapped on these, but just because we're using glue and paint on them, you know, don't eat off of these. Okay. These are for decor purposes. So the next thing I did was add a good layer of Mod Podge again once my bunnies had dried. And then I'm just using this pretty little pink and white tissue paper. It's polka dot and it's so perfect for Easter. And also, I think that I did buy this tissue paper, I believe at Walmart. I think it's 98 cents for, you know, a whole packet full. I decided to make these kind of matching, so I'm adding Mod Podge again and then adding tissue paper to my little bunny. Now, you can see that these look really cute like they are, but you can see through them, so they're still transparent. And that's okay if you like that look, you can go for that. But a way to jazz them up and make the whole thing show up better is to take white paint once you have this process done and you've trimmed off your excess with scissors. You just take some white paint. Let the tissue paper dry completely, but then take white paint and you just white paint around on the back of that, and then you're gonna let that dry. So really, these are super fun to make. They're just a little bit time consuming because of each step you need to let it dry in between the steps. But how adorable are these? They're so springtime fabulous and blooming. Popped into my little cabinet, and again, you guys could really use these just about anywhere. And remember, these are for decor purposes only. For the next DIY, I want to share with you how to make a beautiful blooming springtime wreath. So for the first step, I'm going to take this little Dollar Tree welcome home sign and I'm going to zip tie it to this grapevine wreath. This grapevine wreath base I did buy at Hobby Lobby. It was $4.98. And the next thing I want to do is pop these pretty little Dollar Tree white blooming flowers into the top part. So I did hot glue the end of it, and that's going to keep it a little bit more secure down inside of this grapevine wreath. Now you don't have to necessarily hot glue your stems, but it will help them stay in a little bit better if you plan to put one of these kind of wreaths outside. I'm also adding in some of the purple Dollar Tree lilacs and also some beautiful spring pink colors. So on the top part of this, I'm adding a beautiful kind of bloomy bouquet out the top, and then I'm going to mimic and use the exact same flowers at the bottom so it looks really cohesive and looks like it's blooming. Again, I'm using hot glue to pop my flowers in, and all of the flowers did come from Dollar Tree, as well as a cute little sign also came from Dollar Tree. So I just love making these wreaths. They're so fun and beautiful and whimsical, and you guys can really get creative and customize this to match your home decor. So whatever colors you love for spring, whatever colors you find comforting and happy, I suggest that you guys use those. Okay, the next thing we want to do is make a cute little bow. So I'm going to take this ribbon and just loop it over on itself and then pinch it into the center. And this is going to be a super easy bow, and it's going to be really pretty and hopefully vibrant. And I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner and tie this first loop off in the center. So for each one of my loops, I am just going to make one loop. You can make a bigger bow if you want, but I'm going to use a lot of different kinds of ribbons. And so I did not find a whole lot of Easter ribbon at Dollar Tree. In fact, I'm almost out of my Easter ribbon, so I did have to pop into Michael's and Walmart and Hobby Lobby on the hunt for ribbon. And so this ribbon is from Michael's, and the other ribbon I believe is going to be from Walmart. Okay, so I am tying it off in the center. Again, I just made a little loop with my ribbon, tied it off in the center, and then I have just kind of some cute cascading tails. The next thing I want to use is some of this pretty yellow polka dot ribbon, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to tie a loop and then just add it into my little bow. So you're going to continue on with this process until you guys get as many bows and as many colors that you want for your blooming springtime wreath. So this one was some pink polka dot ribbon, and I got this at Walmart. Walmart actually had some pretty good ribbon as far as colors was concerned in their Easter section. So I'm just checking it on this wreath, and what I decided to do was to go ahead and cut some longer tails with some of the thinner ribbon and just use that to tie my bow onto my wreath. So it's going to serve a dual purpose. It's going to tie my bow on, so you can see I'm cutting the little tails, and then you can just secure your ribbon on like that. It's kind of a little hack I have for you guys. You could also, just use floral wire to tie your bow on, but it's also going to take this ribbon or this larger bow and cinch it up in the center and really get it held on there well. So it's not going to wobble around and flop around. Now, after you get everything tied on, the next step you're going to want to do is you can assess your wreath, see if you want to add a couple more flowers. I think I added some hot pink tulips and a couple of other pretty little Dollar Tree flowers. And now I'm just dovetailing my ends, which means I'm cutting a triangle in an upwards direction to give my wreath a really pretty boutique finish. And then I'm just taking my little ribbon and kind of curling the ends. And I did add in one more layer of ribbon to this to kind of pull some more of those blues in. But this one was definitely blooming and definitely springtime fabulous and really on a pretty good budget. So I think that this was a fun one. Again, especially if you use Dollar Tree florals or even some florals you might have in your stash. So here it is after I fluffed my bow and made everything all nice and fabulous. So as always, comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. I really tried to inspire you guys in this video and hopefully give you some ideas from a beginner crafter level to a little bit more tricky on some of them. So hopefully it gives everybody some different crafts and projects they can think about or maybe even want to make for their own, or maybe you're just having fun watching this video. You love to watch crafts and get inspired. So I want to thank you guys for being here. It's such a true blessing and an honor. Don't forget to listen for that secret question too. I'm going to pop it into the video somewhere because I do have a $100 Hobby Lobby gift card giveaway that I'm sharing with you guys, and the winner will be announced next Saturday. And then the last thing I had to share with you guys is we took Benji Bear to the lake this weekend. Of course, it was way too cold to get in, but he got up to the water's edge and had a blast. He is so full of life and so full of how to make an amazing two-tiered Easter cake. So we're going to take some Dollar Tree foam board, and then I picked up this larger bucket from Walmart for 98 cents and then some of these little cups as well. And I'm just going to cut out some circles that are the size of the bottom of the foam board because I need the foam board to drop down into the little buckets to fill up this space, because we're going to be stacking these cakes and we don't want to use any more of our spackling than we have to. So once you have your little rounds cut, you're going to hot glue them into the bottom part of the foam board, and then you can just take your featherweight spackle, and it is by DAP. You can get it at Dollar Tree in a small container, or I usually just go to Home Depot and spend a couple of dollars more and get the larger one. And you're going to take one of your little Dollar Tree crafting putty knives and begin to putty on your frosting. So I'm using the little crafting knife and I'm just gently smoothing the frosting, and it does take some work. This is a little bit sped up so it wouldn't take so long, but you guys kind of get the drift. Just pretend like you're frosting a cake. You're just going to go back and forth until you get that little hole filled and you get enough frosting on there. The next thing I want to do is make a little foam board round, and this is what my cake is going to sit on top of. So I'm just going to take and hot glue the smaller round to the bottom of the cake, and then I'm going to take one of these little Dollar Tree doilies. This was in the Valentine's Day section, but they sell the round doilies as well. That actually would have worked better. I'm just trying to use what I already have on hand. So I'm cutting the doily to fit around the bottom part of my cake, and I'm basically just creating like a little cake bottom. So just continue to glue the little doilies around, or go to the Dollar Tree and get the doily rounds. They are like $32 to a pack for $1. Anyway, I thought it would also be really cute to do a pink one since this is going to be Easter and I'm using a lot of pastels. Now, once I have my little bottom of my cake round done, I'm just going to hot glue the cake to my little cake plate or cake round. Then I'm going to take some more of that spackling and I'm just going to frost around the bottom part of the cake. So I did get a little bit messy with this, but it is going to be somewhat covered up with some of those little Dollar Tree glitter balls. I'm kind of using those like you would use jelly beans. So again, this is an Easter cake, and you can take some sprinkles. You can cut up some little foam sprinkles, or you can even order some if you don't feel like making your own. They have really cute sprinkles on Etsy, and just like pretty much anywhere. Amazon, you guys can get some little faux sprinkles. Now I'm going to take this little Dollar Tree Easter bunny, and it came in like a little foam pack, and I just you're going to use your DAP to attach everything. So use a little bit of your spackling to attach your bunny, and then you can use some of the little Dollar Tree glitter vase fillers, these little balls, and to me they look like little jelly beans. So you can see I'm adding a tiny bit of the DAP spackling to attach my little jelly beans, my little faux jelly beans or glitter balls. And then I did add even some more sprinkles in and around where it still kind of needed to be filled in. And I thought the cake looked really cute like this, but you can go an extra step and you can get some of the little Dollar Tree cake maker packets. So they actually have like a cake icing tip and bag, and you can put your spackling down inside of there and then just begin to kind of create frosting. I was really nervous doing this. I haven't done a cake in quite a while, and so bear with me on this, you guys. But you just squeeze your frosting out almost like you would be piping a real cake, and you kind of want to do like a little motion where it kind of like just guys kind of goes back and forth as you move your little cake around. And so here is how it turned out. Oh my goodness, I was so excited to create this because I have been drooling over all of the faux cakes that I'm seeing everybody have like in their really pretty fancy Easter displays. And I thought, gosh, I know that we can do this on a budget. And I really thought that those little Walmart plaid buckets would be so cute. And it also takes up so much less spackling. But you guys can always use any really gift box or anything, cover it with some spackling, and that can be a cake base as well. So I hope you guys are having fun with this, and get ready, hang on, we have quite a ride in this video, so many more DIYs to come. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take one of those little plastic bunnies and I'm going to chalk paint it white, and then you're going to want to let that dry. Then I'm going to take some of my featherweight DAP spackling and I'm going to create a bunny cake. And this was so fun, and I've had this idea for a while to do. So I'm just using a little popsicle stick and I'm gently layering on the spackling, just kind of like a real thin layer almost, because with the white paint I didn't really have to goop like a whole ton on. And then I'm kind of giving it like a little back and forth motion to make it look like it's actual frosting. I then decided that I want it to be kind of like an ombre or mix in a little bit of pink to it. So I did get some pink paint and I dabbed that in. You can tell that I'm at the bottom of the barrel on my spackling. So anyway, use what you guys have and use it all. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm just going to take that little bit of pink paint that I mixed in there and kind of brush it on to my bunny to kind of make it look like a little bit of a pink rainbow bunny. I thought that would be super cute. I think Easter is the perfect time to really splurge on some fun pastel decor throughout your home. And then I kind of like tried to make the ears look like a little bit pinky as well. But again, just have fun with it. And this is really a really fun craft that you all can do with your kiddos and your grandkids, because there's really no hot glue involved, but it does get a little bit messy, so make sure you cover your workspace. The next thing I'm going to do is use my little craft tool, and you can get these at Walmart in a 3-pack, and I'm going to take some of that spackling and I'm going to add a little bit on one of those foam glitter balls. And so the glitter balls come in a big pack at Dollar Tree, and they say foam vase filler, but they're perfect for like Easter crafty. You guys can see I'm doing some awkward mom dancing. And then again, you guys can make your own sprinkles by just cutting up some little bitty tiny pieces of foam, or you can buy some on Etsy or Amazon, or you can also use little beads that Dollar Tree sells. I've used that before for sprinkles, or you guys can even cut up some little tiny pieces of paper. Now I like to put my sprinkles on when my spackling is wet, but if your spackling has dried, just a little tip, you guys can add some Mod Podge and then add your sprinkles. The next thing I want to do is take my little Dollar Tree cake set, and this is just like what you would actually use to put a cake on. And what you do is you put your spackling down inside of the bag and put your little piping tip on, and then you can just pipe like some pretty icing on. Now my icing piping skills are a little bit rusty. In fact, I've really only used an icing piping bag on fake cakes. So I do need a little bit of practice, but you just kind of use a forward and backward motion to try to give it like that little bit of a fluffy look. I also think I may pop into Walmart and get a nicer tip, because the Dollar Tree tips like don't have very, they're just not a great tip. So you really kind of have to work for it. But anyway, I also added some little felt bows to the top of her ears. And here is that fun and fabulous little Easter shaped cake. And then I did end up popping it onto some little fake grass in my little Easter display setting. Oh my goodness, we have so many more fun DIYs coming up, but I just thought this would be so cute, and again, a great one to do with kiddos or grandkids, or if you just love to kind of tinker around. This is a fun one to try. You really can't mess it up. Just be patient with yourself and give yourself grace. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take 2 of these home signs and I'm going to flip them over and create a little Dollar Tree garden bench. The next thing I want to do is just gently take a crafting knife and pull those staples out. And then I did give it a coat of white spray paint. That wasn't covering very well, so I ended up using some chalk paint. Now I'm going to flip my home signs back over and I'm going to take some popsicle sticks and I'm going to measure to see, because I want to make a garden bench, but I'm going to use these 2 little pink waste baskets that you can get at Dollar Tree, or you can really use like any little garden pot or just anything that you can use that is going to stabilize your garden bench. So anyway, now I'm just going to take and hot glue my popsicle sticks to the back of my signs, because I need my sign to stay together. So I want to make it really secure here. So I used 3 popsicle sticks this way, and then I ended up like kind of diagonally using some popsicle sticks as well. Now, because I used the waste baskets for my base, it was really a really sturdy garden bench, which is what I was going for. I just felt like the waste baskets may have been a little bit chunky for legs, but if you kind of have some vines cascading over it, I think it would make up for that. So the next thing I want to do is take some E6000 glue and then also some hot glue, and your E6000 glue is going to be your permanent hold, and then you want to hot glue where you didn't put the E6000 glue down. And so then I'm just going to pop that on to the back of my little signs, and I'm going to do 1 on each side. And I did want to kind of like make sure that there was room on the garden bench. So I put them right in the center. That way nothing wobbles around. If you actually end up using it to put some plants on it, I probably will keep it in my crafting studio. And used like to put some little cute bunnies and some like little lanterns and some fun things like that on. Now I am going to just lightly chalk paint the back of it. Nobody's going to see underneath it, but just in case. And you guys can tell that I'm running out of my chalk paint, so I had to like kind of pop it on top of my little signs here. Anyway, give it a good layer of paint. I gave it 1 generous layer of chalk paint, and that was able to really get my little garden bench covered. I want to make it kind of like a shabby chic garden bench. So that's what I was going for with this, but you guys always can use whatever colors you love. Now I'm going to take 2 of the little Dollar Tree garden gates, and I'm going to zip tie them together. I have 1 left over from last season that was already painted white. And so I'm just going to paint the other one white as well, but you just want to zip tie each end and then also zip tie it in the center. Now, once the garden gate was painted, I enlisted the help of Mr. Romantic, and he is going to help me attach it to the back of my little bench. So he took his drill and he just drilled several different holes in the back of the bench, and luckily it did not crack like the little plywood or whatever it's not really made out, it's made out of like a particle board. Anyway, then he took some of my zip ties and he just pushed them through and then attached the little garden gate as well. And it's actually really sturdy on there. I was pretty surprised, but he did use about 5 to 6 little holes that he just drilled with his screwdriver. So pretty easy to do there. I don't usually work with the power tools a whole bunch, and I just thought it would be fun for you guys to say hi to him and to kind of have his help. So anyway, there he is helping me out with my little garden bench, and it ended up being so stinking cute. Oh, I also want to let you know that he waited and he pulled the zip ties closed, starting from the outside and working its way in. He said that way it didn't pucker. Anyway, so he has a little different method on some of his stuff that he does, but I thought it turned out absolutely perfect. And then I just popped some little cutie goodies on top of it with this little sign and a couple of little carrots. And then there's like a little garden idea, but you guys could really put real plants on this and then pop it next to a window. And then there's that cute little Dollar Tree bunny that we created, some candlesticks. So you guys could really get creative and use it for anything, any kind of little low shelf that you might need. My daughter's bed even like sits low to the ground, so she likes to use low shelves as well. For the next DIY, I want to share with you all how to create like a 2-tier, 3-tiered tray. And this is going to be next to my coffee station. So I just popped one of those little welcome Peeps signs back behind my little 2-tiered tray, and that way you can't see the cord when I'm saying good morning to you guys with my good morning cup of coffee. And then at Target Dollar Spot, they had those little round wreaths, and I just popped that on top of my little 2-tiered tray. And then I have these cute little faux muffins. I'll link some in my Amazon store for you guys. I also get those little flickering flameless candles off of Amazon, and then I'm just popping in my cute little coffee mugs. A lot of you all ask me where I get my coffee mugs, and I find my coffee mugs either at TJ Maxx primarily or the thrift store. Those are the 2 places I hunt for coffee mugs, and lately I've even been having some of you all send me coffee mugs. So shout out to all the little friends out there that are spoiling me. And so you can see I'm just kind of playing around with this, popping those little faux muffins in there, and they're so nice to have. And then here are those prayer cards, and everybody asks me where I get my prayer cards. I get them at Dollar Tree. They're just a great way to start my morning. I read one every single morning as I'm making my coffee, and it just helps me with my day. And then this little garden bunny was $3, I believe, at the Target Dollar Spot. So there's some little fun goodies in here. Oh, and those little carrots were $1 at the Target Dollar Spot, and that was quite a steal in my opinion. So here's just a fun idea on how you guys can create kind of a little good morning setting for you in your kitchen. It is a little bit over decorated probably for a tiered tray because I actually use it and pop my mugs in and out of it, but it just really makes me happy. Like when I wake up in the morning, I just love to see some pretty decor, some cute little prayer cards, and then have my cup of coffee, and then I share that with you guys every morning on my Instagram story. Now I have been using my Nespresso, and that was a gift from Mr. Romantic for Christmas. And also I wanted to let you all know that there are prayer cards available on Amazon. Those little prayer cards I just showed you. I'll try to link some in my Amazon store for you guys as well. And then a lot of you all ask me what kind of coffee I'm brewing in the morning. It's the Nespresso pods, and so they're compatible with the Nespresso machine. You can order those off Amazon as well. They're a little bit of a splurge, but they're way less than it would be if you're going to go to Starbucks for like a coffee out at the Starbucks store. They also sell the little Starbucks Nespressos at Target if you guys need to pick some up there. I think I will though go back to a drip coffee maker or a Keurig eventually because an espresso is pretty strong, just an FYI. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all some super adorable ideas for making some little cake plates or cake stands or just little stands. These could be used for plants, but I'm just going to take one of those Dollar Tree wooden heart signs. This was left over from my Valentine's Day decor. And then I'm just going to take these little wooden beads. Dollar Tree sells wooden beads, but they're colored. So I did order this pack off of Amazon. It's a huge, ginormous pack. I'll link it in my Amazon store as well in my crafts section for you guys if you need a lot lot of beads, but I'm just going to hot glue these beads to the back of my little heart wooden plaque, and then I'm going to add one more bead on top of it just to give it a little bit of height. I wanted to have something to put my cute little cake plates on and all of that fun stuff. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to create another little stand. This can be a cake stand, a plant stand, whatever suits your fancy. And this is just one of those large, oversized Dollar Tree Easter signs, and I had chalk painted it white. And then I'm taking these little wooden beads and I'm hot gluing them to the bottom of the egg. And I am going to do 2 little wooden bead layers. So I will tell you guys, when you're putting these wooden beads on, to just add a little bit of glue. You could even use wood glue and just let it dry. I do like the way hot glue though has like an instant result. But again, you also want to use Faux, and that will stabilize your little egg. And I just thought this was such a fun idea. I see like these little wooden stands, you know, at TJ Maxx and seasonal stands, and they're so expensive. So I thought this would be a great little fun dupe. So for the next DIY, I'm going to take some of the wooden little kind of smaller egg signs, and these actually come in the kids coloring pack, and they're a wooden sign at Dollar Tree, and then a little Dollar Tree candlestick, and I just hot glued that to the little egg, and that way I had a little cupcake stand. Now here I'm kind of playing with some ideas of popping my bunny cake, my faux bunny cake on, and then my little cupcake. And I decided to make another one because I knew I was going to make more faux treats and I would just need more of them to kind of give them height and dimension. Now I decided they looked a little bit plain, just all painted white, and so I decided to take some of this cute little, it's like a pastel colored paper. These are at Hobby Lobby for $0.25 or 4 for $1, just for these like kind of papery ones. But I'm cutting them out the size of the egg. And then for the life of me, I don't know how this happened, but I ran out of Mod Podge, you guys. So I'm just going to hot glue the paper onto the little egg, which isn't a big deal. I would have preferred it to be Mod Podged on there, but this way you don't really have any bubbles and you don't have the annoying drying time that you have with Mod Podge. Although it's not annoying, it's a blessing to be able to craft, but sometimes I get impatient if you guys, and let me know if you're there with me. Anyway, I'm going to do one more, and this paper is the polka dot paper from Hobby Lobby. Again, 4 for $1, pretty great little deal, and you guys can have fun just crafting it up. I like to pick up a couple of these papers for every season. So if it's Easter, I'll pick up some Easter colored paper. If it's Christmas, I'll pick up a little Christmas colored paper. That way you guys can make tags, or you can embellish them in this way. So there's the little egg polka dot one. And then I also even added some polka dot paper to my heart stand. So check out how cute and fun these little stands are. Listen, you guys, I went to TJ Maxx looking for little cupcake stands and cake stands, and they didn't have any. Now the one pink stand that I do have though is left over from last year, and that was from the Target dollar spot. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to share with you guys how to make some yummy, delicious fake cake chocolate cake slices. Okay, this is the first time I've ever made chocolate cake slices, so I am so excited to share this with you guys. You're going to take some foam. You can get it from the craft store, from Dollar Tree, and you just want to cut it into like a little wedge, like the size of a cake. So when you think about cutting a piece of cake, you just want to cut it into a cake size. And I did 2 that kind of look like a sitting wedge, and then 1 that looks like it's laying down. The next thing I wanted to do was take some of this brown paint. Another little tip I have for you guys is when you're crafting, if you can kind of bulk do some things, so you can tell I'm doing a chocolate bunny over here, which I'm going to show you guys in the next DIY. But once I have brown paint on my hands, I want to get as much brown painting done as I can, because golly, you guys, I made a super big mess with this chocolate. We can pretend like it's chocolate, can't we? It's fat free. Of course, we don't want to eat this. Now, these would be fun to do with kiddos or grandkids, but you may want to have them wear some gloves because it does make quite a bit of mess, and make sure you lay something down with it. Also, the other thing is that I did notice that the foam absorbs paint. So you're going to need to use quite a bit of paint on this, which just make sure you have a lot of brown paint. So this was a pretty big tube, and I don't really use this brown paint very often, so it wasn't a big deal. But I went to town painting all of the sides of my little piece of styrofoam here. Now, Maybe you don't have a ton of brown paint, but you want to do a white piece of cake, a brown piece of cake, a pink piece of cake. You could do purple cake, whatever color you love. You guys go for it. Get out your paints, get out your paintbrush, and have fun. Just have a blast. I had so much fun making these faux treats. It was so therapeutic for me. And maybe it was a good thing I was out of Mod Podge, because it forced me to kind of get out of my comfort zone and make some faux treats and just do some different things. So sometimes that's another thing you guys can do, is kind of look around your craft stash, and maybe you don't have one thing or two things, but you have something else that you've kind of put on the back burner. You can whip out and just pump some fun music and just have fun crafting and decorating. So once I had got this completely covered, I got a little impatient, I will tell you guys. You probably want to let your paint dry. I gave my paint about an hour to dry, and it wasn't even dry in an hour's time. So, but I did glob on quite a bit. I'm kind of a paint globber when it comes to painting things. I'm also a messy painter, as you guys can tell as well. So the next thing I wanted to do was take some of the Dollar Tree caulk, and this is actually in the automotive section. And this, I'm going to make a pretty little, it's going to look like faux frosting here. So I just made a line down the center of my fake cake, and then I'm making kind of like some little loop-de-loops. I didn't feel like those looked awesome, so I decided to make some little, to turn my loop-de-loos into some swirly swirls. So I'm taking my little Dollar Tree caulk and I'm just kind of swirling it around, and look, it just looks delicious. It looks like it's like meant to be, even though it was a happy little accident. So anyway, I'm doing my loop-de-loos again, and then kind of doing some swirly doodads, and it really ended up looking to me like it was meant to happen. So then I had to brush my tip off to get my white line down the other center part. And so then that is going to make a fun little cake. Now I'm going to take it an extra step further. From the Dollar Tree, I grabbed an icing piping cake bag. Okay, there's no icing in here though. This is again that spackling. You can get it at Dollar Tree, but again, I get my spackling at the home improvement store, Home Depot. Okay, the other thing is you want to use featherweight spackling, and the DAP brand for me has been the best. It's about $6 for a tub of it. Now, check this out. How adorable does this look? By now, I've done so much cake piping. I've really started having fun with it, and I'm less nervous to do it. At first, I was really nervous to play with this, mainly because I didn't want to mess it up, but you guys really can't mess this up, honestly. And if you do, you can just scrape it off and give it a whirl again. And now I'm going to do my laying down cake slice, and I'm doing it in kind of the same fashion with the little swirly doodad days and the little pretty icing. So have fun with it, get creative, take a deep breath, don't be too hard on yourself, and go for it. And here is how they all turned out. So fun and fabulous, and looking as if they were fresh from the bakery, you guys. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you. Now, I did add a little doobly dad to the center, like a little whipped cream topping, and I think over the weekend I might make some fake cherries. So I might paint some of those little glitter foam vase fillers and make them into cherries, and then add like some glossy Mod Podge. I'm going to see if that works. Otherwise, I may just cheat and grab some cherries from the craft store if they have them, like maybe some little mini cherries. I might look for them on Amazon too. I thought that'd be fun to add into some of my treats. But here is an overview of how the chocolate treats looked in with the Easter treats, which I thought it was kind of like a fun way to mix and match those. I'm not sure what kind of little Easter goodies I should add to those. Okay, so for the next Dollar Tree DIY, this is another amazing one that I have to show you guys. This is one of those little Dollar Tree Easter plastic goodies, and I just chalk painted it white. The chalk paint is going to give my regular paint a really good surface to adhere to. And it really did, you guys. I only had to use one layer of chalk paint and then one layer of my brown paint. And the brown paint had a bit of a gloss to it, but if you guys don't have brown glossy paint, you guys could always just use some glossy Mod Podge over some regular acrylic paint. But you want to paint it in a chocolate color, so you can make any color chocolate bunny you want. But I'm going for the delicious milk chocolate bunny. Yum, yum, yum. And of course, again, this is not edible. It's a fake treat. treat, but it's still fun to have popped into my little display. So again, I'm having fun with this and getting creative and just adding tons and tons of paint to really get a good nice layer. Now I did go in and do the front and the back. So these bunnies come together and they're yellow originally. And I will tell you that I got a little bit of paint like in the cracks of one side of my bunny, so it didn't go together quite as nicely as I wanted it to. So just be careful if you guys do plan to put them back together. You may want to kind of scrape the little edge if it has paint on it, but not a big deal. You could always give them a little hot glue or E6000 on there as well. But have fun with your bunny. You could probably even get really creative and do some detailed eyes and nose if you wanted to. I just wanted mine to look like solid milk chocolate, and I was totally down for that. And it's making me so hungry for chocolate. Comment and let me know if you guys are getting hungry for some treats. And I am going to share with you guys a treat in this video at the end of the video, but it's going to be a healthy treat because I'm trying to really get healthy. Now that my little chocolate bunny has all dried, I'm going to take this cute little pink ribbon and tie it around his neck, and that's also going to kind of help hold him together. So I've taken and I've, pushed the two plastic pieces back together, and I'm going to kind of cinch it up, and that way my chocolate bunny will hold together. And I'm just going to do a quick and easy little bow. This is just like a little shoelace bow, like you would be tying your shoes. I'm going to knot it at the neck and then kind of gently pull it over. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys a fun little hack on how to take some of those little garden flags from Dollar Tree and the little garden stake, and you can pull the little top part of the flag out. It comes with like a plastic piece in it that I guess is just made for hanging, but I'm going to pull that plastic piece out so I can put it onto this little garden flag stand that they sell at Dollar Tree, and that way I have a cute little garden flag. And this is a super easy DIY, you guys. I don't even know that it really should be a DIY, except for maybe some of you guys don't know about this, and I just thought it would be a fun way to jazz up my front little yard without breaking the bank. And it's great for spring. Now, the next thing I want to share with you guys is you can take a wooden dowel or like a little thin shish kebab, or you can just take that piece of plastic, which is what I did, that was in the top, and run it down through the bottom to try to give it a little bit more stability, although mine is definitely whipping around in the wind. We live on the top of a hill, and so our hill catches so much wind. So the minute I put it out there, we're getting some rain soon. So there you guys have that. Check this out. Bloom where you're planted. This little flag is from Dollar Tree. And then again, so is the little garden stake. I also thought it would be fun to share with you guys these cute little Dollar Tree tulips, and they're like little wind milled tulips where they catch the wind and they spin around. Comment down below. I cannot think of what the correct word is for it. I know is it a windmill? Anyway, they're little tulips that spin around, and they caught my eye. I don't know. I think they're just so adorable. I think kiddos or grandkids would love this, and honestly, I got a super big kick out of waiting to see when they would catch the wind, and here they are. I was so hoping to get that on camera for you guys, but how stinking cute is that? Now, this is an empty planter bed. I think I'm going to pop into Walmart this weekend and see if I can't find some plants. And I also have to share with you guys that my jonquils or daylilies are getting ready to pop out. In fact, they should be popping out tomorrow, and I can't wait to share when they bloom in my front yard. Now So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I have to share with you guys another fun little fake cake bake. And this is just with one of those little Dollar Tree cups. They have the most super adorable cups out at Dollar Tree. You guys are going to have to grab a pack if you see them. They're in the spring fling section of my store. But I'm just going to take some of this featherweight DAP spackling, and I added some little foam into the top of the cup, and that way I didn't have to use so much spackling. But you can just cut out like a little round of that little Dollar Tree foam board and pop that into the top. You guys can also use an empty ribbon roll cardboard container and just hot glue that to the top as well. Whatever floats your boat, whatever you guys have on hand. Now I'm taking my little Dollar Tree crafting tool, and I'm just using that to kind of make the spackling look a little bit more realistic. We are going to pop some things on top of this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to decorate the top of it most likely, so just take a deep breath and have fun with your fake cake baking. And again, I really think that this is a fun one to do with kiddos and grandkids. I did this with my daughter years ago, and she thinks they're fun to look at now, but I don't think she's as interested anymore crafting with mom, but that's okay. She still does pop into my crafting studio. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this little bunny rabbit, and I used some DAP spackling again to pop my bunny rabbit on, and then I'm just using some of that Dollar Tree vase filler. It's this little tiny pieces from the vase filler, and I'm using the spackling to adhere the little vase filler foam balls because I really felt like they looked like jelly beans. So I mean, this project is so inexpensive and so fun, and you guys can get so creative with this. You can do all kinds of colors, you can add some sprinkles, and to make sprinkles, you can use little tiny hair ties, and you can just cut those up, or like the little hair rubber bands. The other thing you can do is you can take foam, and you can cut foam into little bitty tiny pieces as well, or you can order some off of Etsy or Amazon to make really fun little sprinkles. Okay, so now I am going to take some featherweight spackling again, and I'm just going to rim the bottom of this. I didn't think it looked super bad with a cardboard bottom, but I do want to make it look a little bit more realistic, so I'm adding some of the spackling as well. Now it's down to the very bottom, very bottom of this, so I did end up having to go to Home Depot and grab some more spackling while my daughter was at dance. I popped in there. Now I'm using those little Dollar Tree this is just a cake decorating kit. I left that out so you guys could see what that looks like. It's in the kitchen section, and I'm put the spackling into my piping bag, and I'm just going to pipe it. And this was actually one of the first ones I did, and I was super nervous to do this. I haven't done it in forever, and so I felt like my decorating needs a little bit of work, but and I also got impatient and like moved my cakes around a little bit, and so there's some spots on them that like you can tell that the spackling kind of got moved around. So I will give you guys a tip to try to be patient, and whatever you're going to have your cake on top of, you probably want to just like leave it on top of wax paper, and that way you don't have to move it around, but let it dry. It needs to dry for 24 hours. So that's just a little tip. Okay, so for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super adorable little egg cupcake. So this, I'm going to take one of the little Dollar Tree foam eggs and a little cupcake liner, and I'm just going to take the spackling and I'm going to cover the whole egg in the spackling. Now you're going to get messy with your hands on this one, but this is another fun one you guys can do with all ages. Just make sure that nobody's tasting the spackling, because it is just something that you're going to use like as putty to patch your wall or whatnot. So this is not edible. This is just for fake bake treats. Okay. So I'm taking my little spatula again, and I'm running all the spackling all the way around it till I get almost all the way to the bottom. And then to adhere my little egg, I'm just going to put a generous layer inside of my little cupcake. And you guys can tell it gets a little bit slimy and sloppy. And I think now looking back on it, I should have left the egg on its little stake. So this is one of those Dollar Tree foam eggs, and they come actually already on a stake. And I should have left it on its little kebab. So you guys can learn from my mistake there. Anyway, I'm popping in a bunch of spackling to the bottom of my cupcake liner, and then finishing up with my cupcake. And you guys can tell my hands are messy. I'm popping that in there, and then I just took the cupcake liner and kind of formed it around the egg to kind of give it a little bit more cupcakey shape, or to just make it look like a cupcake egg, I guess. Anyway, you guys, just have fun with it. This was kind of like a trial one. I'm using this little pink glitter ball vase filler on top, and then I'm just going to add in some sprinkles. And again, you guys can use fake sprinkles, or for this one I did use some real sprinkles. Now let me tell you, if you guys have ants or anything like that, you probably don't want to use real sprinkles, but I was just getting creative and having fun crafting it up. But you guys can cut little tiny rubber bands to make sprinkles, or you can cut up some like little bitty foam pieces, or even use some little beads. I've done that before. Okay, so I added it into another cupcake liner, and that made it look a little bit more cupcakey in my opinion, so it wasn't just like all mashed up, because that first liner did get kind of a little bit wet with the spackle, but I thought it turned out super adorable. I'm going to play around with this idea, and I'm also going to share with you guys in my next video how to do a cupcake, a faux cupcake that requires no spackling, so it's like a mess-free one, but it does require hot glue. So anyway, for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a cute little spackled egg. Okay, or egg cake, but we are going to use spackling, and this is going to be in our Dollar Tree piping bag again, and I'm just taking this little golden egg, and this is just half of an egg. You could also do the inside of an egg. I thought that might be super cute. I might show you guys that in another video if I can find another egg. I think I've lost one of my eggs. But anyway, I'm just going to take my spackling. I rimmed it around the side of my egg, and then I'm going to go down the front part of my egg. Now, I did run low on spackling, so I wasn't able to cover the entire egg, but you could cover the entire egg, or you could just do part of it like I did. I think it looks super adorable anyway. So, and I'm also going to share with you guys too how to make those little sprinkles, but continue to pipe your spackling. The only thing that was tricky about this too was like when I moved my egg around to try to share with you guys on the camera, I touched like the bottom part of the egg and I moved it around too much. So I do have my goodies laid down too on wax paper, and that helps it be able to remove, because the spackling will take 24 to 48 hours really to dry completely. So you guys kind of have to be patient with it. Also, to adhere your sprinkles, I put my sprinkles on when the spackling is still wet, but you guys can let it dry and then add Mod Podge and then put your sprinkles on that way. So that's just another idea for you guys. Again, we're kind of learning as we go here, and I'm just kind of giving you guys my little tips that I kind of learned to trial and error here. I'm not like a super cake maker, but I do have fun with it. Okay, now I have these little foam bunnies, and these are like the perfect color for my Easter goodies. Now, the only thing about the Dollar Tree foam bunnies is they did have some wording on the back, but I'm just going to cut them in really, really tiny pieces, so I don't really think that you're going to notice, but you may just want to grab some plain foam that doesn't have any of like the letters on the back. Anyway, you just take your little scissors and give it a good cutting. And I will tell you guys, I don't normally craft with child scissors, although I have lost my really nice pair of scissors somewhere in my craft room. Again, I really think it might be time for me to begin to organize my craft room. So continue to cut your little foam pieces and see how this like makes the cutest little sprinkles. You guys can also use those little tiny hair rubber bands that you would use in like, you know, a child's hair, like to make a little tiny pony in. And that makes really cute little sprinkles as well. So just some ideas for you guys on how to make some faux sprinkles, and give your little fake bake some good old-fashioned sprinkling, and then there you guys have that. So how fun and fabulous does this look? Oh my goodness, you guys popped into all these little fun Easter faux treats, and they're not perfect, but they're perfectly fun to make, and just have fun with it. You guys really can't mess these up. Again, I did these with my daughter when she was tiny. And so anyway, okay, so for the next DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super yummy and healthy parfait. We're going to make two different kinds of parfaits. We're going to make a yogurt one to start out with. So maybe this could be for like a healthy yogurt treat. And I'm just going to take two Go-Gurts, or you guys could just use yogurt, and then a banana. And I'm going to slice my banana. And I also have raspberries that I'm going to add into this, and some little granola. But you guys use any yogurt you have on hand. I just happen to have this because my daughter loves these Go-Gurts, and I make these as her dessert. So they're a healthy treat. and they're pretty delicious as well. So I'm going to squeeze one of the Go-Gurts into the bottom of my little clear cup, and then I'm going to add a layer of bananas. So this is like just a fun way to get in your fruits and also your yogurt without it, like, you know, it just looks fun too in like a clear little glass. So again, I'm just adding in a layer of bananas, and then I'm going to add in some raspberries. Now my daughter loves raspberries, but if you don't care for raspberries, you could also do like some blueberries or some more bananas or strawberries. We've used those before. Really any fruit that your kiddos love or that you love, go for it. Now add another layer of yogurt, and again, I'm using Go-Gurts because this is my daughter's favorite and this one was for her. And then I'm just going to add in some more bananas. And for the second bit of the Go-Gurt, I left a little bit in the bottom of the tube. That way I could have some for the topping. You could also use some whipped cream. That would be fun to use as well. And that's making me really hungry for some ice cream or whipped cream. Now I'm going to add in some more raspberries to top that off with. And then there you guys have like a fun little easy healthy treat. And then I'm going to add that little last squeeze of Go-Gurt to the top. And then you can add some granola. We like to buy the Bear granola at Walmart. It's pretty good and my daughter really likes it. At this stage in the game, when you have teenagers, you kind of just have to buy what they love and they'll eat. So anyway, I'm just going to pop some granola onto the top of this, and this is like a really good snack for after she has dance, or she's a really active teen, and so she needs lots of like fruits and veggies, and she needs a lot of like kind of carbs for recovery, and so this gets a lot of those veggies in and just some really healthy yumminess. Now for me, I'm going to use a sugar-free Jell-O cup. I also like to make these with yogurt, but I was really craving like a chocolate bite. And since I'm really trying to be more healthy and get back into shape for summer, I'm going to use this sugar-free Jell-O vanilla, or it's a vanilla chocolate swirl cup, and it's sugar-free. So now I'm going to take a banana and I'm going to add a little bit more of that pudding to the bottom because I wanted the most of the pudding to be in the bottom, but then I left like half of it to continue my layers. The next thing I want to do is slice up my banana, and bananas are super healthy for you. They're a great little treat. I was doing like low carb like all the way with no fruits, but I'm back like eating just tons of fruits and veggies really more than anything, and trying to watch, you know, my refined sugars, and also, you know, just trying to be healthy, which is eating lots of fruits and veggies is healthy, I think. So the next thing I'm going to do is just pop in some bananas for my next layer. So I have the Jell-O pudding and then some bananas, and I was really craving chocolate. I don't know if you guys have that like in the afternoon and the evening where you just get a crazy chocolate craving, but I felt like this really was sufficient, and it was also pretty healthy. So now I'm going to add in another layer of the Jell-O pudding and then another layer of bananas. And you guys can get really creative with this and use different fruits. You can use different puddings. You don't have to use sugar-free pudding. I like to make regular pudding too and use half and half and just make it like really juicy and delicious. But again, I am trying to watch it here, so I'm going for the sugar-free option. I just layered in some more bananas and then the rest of the pudding at the top. So then I had a really yummy treat, and the pudding cups on their own to me don't really fill me up like when I really need like a really good snack. And again, I have also been trying to walk Benji Bear for 30 minutes in the morning and then 30 minutes in the afternoon. And sometimes I'm great at that and sometimes not. But here's how both of my little sweet treats turned out. And I'm going to have a little nibble of this and tell you guys what I think. And oh my goodness, it was so delicious and so yummy. DIY. We're going to do a super adorable spring basket. I'm going to use this cute little pink Dollar Tree organizing basket and some burlap. So I'm just taking the burlap and I'm weaving it in and out through the little holes in the basket. Now, if you don't have the burlap, you could always use pretty much any ribbon that you have on hand, or another idea that I have used before is to just cut some fabric strips in whatever colors you love and weave the fabric strips through the basket. So you guys can really get creative and make this your own. And if you don't have this basket, that's okay too. Dollar Tree will be setting out all different colors of baskets. You don't necessarily have to use this pink basket. So again, just get creative and make it your own. Now I thought it looked super adorable with just the first layer of burlap, but I love to go super extra as always, and I decided to weave burlap through the entire basket, which made the task a little bit tedious, but by the end I was pretty happy with the outcome. So just continue to cut strips of burlap or fabric or ribbon, whatever you have on hand, weave it through your little basket, and you're going to make it look really kind of cute and high end. And in my opinion, this looked kind of like shabby chic, gave it like a little bit of a vintage flair. And again, this pink basket is from Dollar Tree, and the burlap is from burlapfabric.com. You guys can really get burlap pretty much anywhere though. You can get it at Walmart or your craft store or whatever floats your boat, or you can just cut some cute little strips of fabric. So have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. Now here is how my cute little basket looked once it was all finished, and I decided to poke some holes in it. Now don't panic, this is actually going to go outside of my house in my little pinkish white bike, and I really don't want it to fill up with water because I am going to do a floral inside of it. So this is kind of like part 2 of this video, and that's Benji Bear you guys might hear in the background. So I'm taking one of these cocoa baskets from Dollar Tree, and I'm also poking holes in it. Now I would think that like the water would kind of go through this, but I just wanted to make double sure because we are going to be getting a lot of rain in the month of March, April, and so I just want to make sure that the rain is able to kind of drain through here. Now to secure the foam down inside of the cocoa basket, I decided to take 2 shish kebab sticks because I didn't really feel like the foam would hot glue very well to the cocoa basket, and I also wanted it to be kind of windproof. So I used the shish kebab sticks to kind of skewer the piece of foam down inside of the basket. So these are just shish kebab sticks from the grocery store. You guys can probably find them at Dollar Tree in the kitchen section. The next thing I want to do is take some cute little Dollar Tree florals and pop them into my basket. So this is kind of part 2 of this DIY, is creating a cute little floral arrangement. Now if you wanted to start with just the basket part, you guys could use that little basket for anything under the sun, but again I'm going to go ahead and do this as a floral arrangement to pop outside. I have a really cute little bike, and so I've done several different kind of florals in my bike, and I've always used a tin, and the tin always gets kind of rusty, so I thought using a plastic container might actually work better and hopefully be a little bit more weatherproof. So these are just florals that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using kind of the cascading wisteria. I used a pretty little tall flower in the center, and then I'm using like some little lilacs and some roses and some of these little spring berries. So I just wanted to make it look really springy and festive and Easter. So actually for these DIYs, I'm going to end up putting all of them outside of my house. Surprisingly enough, last week we were completely snowed in. It was so cold we couldn't go outside practically. This week it is actually in the 50s and 60s. So I'm taking advantage of this time, and I'm going to start my Easter spring decorating outside of my home. Usually I always start inside, like on my mantle or in my dining room, but this time I just could not resist the beautiful weather. And I do have 2 other little cute roses that I'm going to pop into the center of this. So this is just kind of like a little hack for creating florals. If you guys like kind of big over the top florals, is to use some more inexpensive flowers and then put just a couple of more high-end flowers sprinkled in your arrangement. And that way you don't have to spend like loads of money on a ton of really expensive flowers.
The other thing I decided to pop into my cute little springtime arrangement was just some Dollar Tree speckled eggs, and that gave it really just kind of like some little Easter goodness. So have fun with it, get creative. The other thing is, a lot of you guys ask me what I do with my florals after the end of the season. I generally take them apart and then kind of rework everything. So here it is, popped into my cute little outdoor bike. You can see there's a little bit of wind, but look at that beautiful sunshine. It just made me so happy to feel the little bit of wind on my skin and the sun on my face. And then there's my pretty little spring flowers are popping out on the ground. And then there's Benji Bear saying hello to you all. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to create a super adorable spring bonnet or spring hat. So you're going to take one of those little hats from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm just going to take and make a quick little Olivia bow. This is just kind of what I call this bow for reference, but you're just going to take and loop the ribbon over on itself about 3 to 4 times, and then pinch it in the center and then trim it off. And then I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and I'm just going to twist the pipe cleaner together, and that is going to secure my bow. And then the next thing I want to do is just fluffy out all of the little edges. And I did make this bow small enough to kind of fit on here, but large enough to kind of make it almost look like it could be kind of like a wreath, I guess, or just like a door hanger. I think these are so fun to do. I used to make these for my family when I was like a teenager. My grandma would save them and hang them all over her wall. I used to love to like make little hat wreaths. But anyway, you can take your pipe cleaner and just string it through the little Dollar Tree bonnet. It has like little holes in it that make it big enough to be able to pop that through, and then give it a bit of a fluffing. And then really you can add pretty much any floral or greenery that you want to. Now when I'm making a kind of floral arrangement, I always want to add my greenery first. And also don't forget to dovetail your ends, and that just means cutting a little triangle at the end of your ribbon. So you want to take, and for this I'm going to also make some tails. So I'm just taking some of the extra ribbon, I'm going to twist it to where both of the pretty sides are out, and then just tuck it gently up underneath the little bonnet, and then pop that ribbon underneath there. Be careful not to glue your fingers together. I got a lot of glue on my fingers today, but then see how I'm just taking the ribbon and I am cutting a little triangle in an upwards direction. So you just fold it in half, and so I'm going to fold it in half and then cut upwards. Always try to cut upwards, that way the scissor is moving away from your hand. If you cut in a downward motion, you could cut yourself. So that's just a little tip from me to you. Always cut upward and away from yourself. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is hot glue some greenery onto my hat, and that is just some pretty greenery that I picked up, I think from Michael's years ago. It's in my craft stash. Again, I repurpose and reuse everything pretty much every year, and then I will pick up some new things at the beginning of the season. I did add a pretty little rose into the center of my bow just to give it some nice little sparkle and shine and romance to my cute little bonnet. And then I'm just adding in some more lilacs and some beautiful florals to really jazz things up a bit. So here is how it turned out. I hung it next to my front door, and just a little close-up of how it turned out with the little cute little speckled eggs from Dollar Tree that I popped in there, and the pretty blooming flowers. Oh, so ready for a spring sunshine time. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how you can take apart one of the hanging Dollar Tree signs and make it into more of a banner. So they have this in store right now. It's just a little hanging Happy Easter sign. I pulled it apart, which is super easy to do, and then I'm just going to use a piece of this kind of nautical rope from Dollar Tree as well, and then I'm just going to hot glue the little eggs to the heavier duty piece of rope. My idea for this is to create like a little hanging banner to hang on the outside of my bike, and that way, or my little bike basket. But so that's just an idea for you guys. I know the hanging signs are really cute, but I needed to hang a different direction. Now, to cover up that little hole in the center, I'm going to just take and make a quick little shoelace bow. So a shoelace bow is you just tie it like you'd be tying your shoelaces, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the top part of the Happy Easter little sign. And this was like such an easy, fun craft. Now the next thing I want to do is take some Scotch Guard. I ordered this off Amazon. I'll link some in my Amazon store in the description box below for you guys, but I think you can probably get it at most stores. And I Scotch Guarded the outside of it, so hopefully it will stay a little bit more weatherproof. And then I'm just going to wrap it on my bike basket and tie it on to either handle. And then I just thought this was such a cute idea. One thing I do have a hard time with in my outdoor decor is we do live on top of a hill, and so the wind really likes to whip my decorations around. And so when I hang one of the Dollar Tree signs from this basket, it always ends up getting like whipped around. So hopefully I'm gathering this really tight that this is going to be a viable, great option for how to get this to hold on well. Now for the next DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a very, very simple bow. We're just going to take some Dollar Tree wired ribbon, and you're going to take and loop the ribbon over on itself. And I slowed this down really good for everybody that's maybe never made this simple bow. And this is what I call the Olivia bow. If you guys are new, this is probably my most favorite bow to make. And if you guys have made this bow over and over, yay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off a tail for this bow, and this is also going to wrap onto my little bike here. You might hear my little puppy dog in the background for this video. He is being very playful today. So the next thing I want to do is take that extra part with the tail, and you can also tie the center of the loopy bow off if you're not able to hold it, maybe a problem with your hands, but you can also just take this tail and tie the tail on the center by knotting it right here in the center. And that's just kind of a little hack if you're in a hurry and you just need to make like a really quick little bow. This is like the easiest, quickest little bow you guys could ever make. And this is a Dollar Tree bow, and it's going to come out really cute. There's no tools involved, and if you use wired ribbon, your little loops, as long as you fluff them out really nicely, they're going to stand up really well. Now don't forget to dovetail your ends by taking the ribbon, folding it in half, and then cutting in an upwards direction. Always try to cut upwards, away from yourself and away from your hands. And then there you have that, a super easy, adorable bow on a budget. It cost you $1. You didn't even need any wire or hot glue or anything like that. And so here is how this all looks put together outside in my little bike for springtime. I think it's so festive and happy, and I have little neighbor kids that always kind of stop by my house to say hey and to say hi to Benji Bear, and so I just thought this would make them smile, and it just brightens up my front yard. Definitely what we need after all these long winter months. For the next DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super adorable spring Easter wreath, and we're going to start out actually with this evergreen wreath base and a roll of Dollar Tree Deco mesh, and I'm just taking the Deco mesh and I'm crisscrossing the evergreen branches over on the Deco mesh. Now you guys could use a Dollar Tree wire wreath form and just take your Deco mesh and make the little bundles. That would work too, but I didn't have actually a wreath form on hand, believe it or not. not, but I did have this evergreen wreath form on hand. So if you guys have any old Christmas wreaths laying around, this might be the perfect opportunity to repurpose and reuse your Christmas wreath. So again, I'm just taking my Deco mesh and I'm making like little 8 to 12 inch poofs, crossing them over on themselves, and then moving on to the next section. The next thing I wanted to add was some burlap. I feel like burlap is such a fun thing to use in springtime. And so again, I'm just using the same idea as I did with the Deco mesh. I'm just kind of crisscrossing it over the spaces where I didn't have any pink mesh. So I'm just using some burlap and I'm crossing the evergreen branches over on themselves. Not a huge rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this, just kind of trying to cover some of the evergreen. So here is what the wreath looks like after I have added some Deco mesh and some burlap. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add this cute little Easter bunny Dollar Tree sign to the center of my wreath. Now I will tell you guys that I was only able to find this Easter sign and then like a round bunny egg sign for signs this year at Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if our store didn't get them in or if maybe I missed the boat, which is completely could be the case with all the snow and ice. I didn't get out much at all. So anyway, I'm just taking a pipe cleaner and I'm hot gluing this pipe cleaner to the back of my sign. I'm just using a Dollar Tree tag to put on top of that to get that to stay on. And that's just a little sign hack that I have for you guys, is to add a pipe cleaner to the back and you can try it directly onto your wreath and it'll look like it's floating. So the next thing I want to do is just use some purple mesh and kind of create some bundles. I wanted to add in some purple color to this wreath. There's so many colors going on my little sign. I just felt like it needed a little bit more color. So I'm making really large bundles and I'm just going to say just fill your hand. So this is like a fill your hand bundle. You could take and make smaller bundles if you wanted, but I was kind of just wanting to like really throw some mesh at this. And so I wasn't being like super particular on it. The next thing I want to do is for this one, I want to use my Easy Bow Maker and some of this really cute pink buffalo check plaid ribbon, and I'm going to make a cute little bow. So I'm just going to go back and forth. This is going to be about an 8-inch bow if you're using an Easy Bow Maker, or you could just make a cute little Olivia bow. And then I'm going to add in this Dollar Tree egg ribbon. And again, I'm just doing one loop of each ribbon on here. Also, though, still trying to get in all the colors that are in this cute and adorable little sign. And then last but not least, I did add in this pretty turquoise ribbon, and I did pick this up at Michael's. So I know it can be difficult to find seasonal ribbon at Dollar Tree. I know some of you all have been posting in my Livy's Romantic Home Facebook group page that Walmart has out some Easter ribbon, so definitely check there. And also, again, like your Michael's or Hobby Lobby, you may find some cute little ribbon there as well. So I'm just going to take and tie this off in the center now with a pipe cleaner, and then here is what that bow looks like. And also, when you're working with like a mesh wreath or a wreath that's like an evergreen wreath, you want to make your bow kind of fluffy and large. That way, because the bow is going to kind of sink down into your wreath. So that's just a little tip, so you can pull your loops out and have plenty of ribbon. When I first started doing these wreaths, I would make my bows kind of small, and then I would lose like a lot of ribbon down inside of there. So fluffy up your bow, make it nice and pretty. And then the other thing is I did make 2 of these bows. I like to put one on the top and then one kind of catty corner to the bottom on the other side. Don't forget to dovetail those ends and make the ends of your ribbon nice and pretty, and just really have fun with it and get creative. So here's bow number 2, and bow number 2 is just like the first bow. So it's super easy. Again, use your easy bow maker, or you can make an Olivia bow, and I do have a bow video linked down in the description box of my YouTube video. Now give it a nice good fluff-a-duff, pull those loops out, fluff them around. That's really going to be the secret to your bow. Also, the secret is to use wired ribbon as much as you can. The next thing I want to do is take some of those little hanging eggs and put some little pipe cleaners on the back, and then I'm going to attach those into the wreath. You could also take some of your extra ribbon and push that into the wreath to kind of fill it out just a little bit. And I did end up making like kind of some more loopy bows to fill it out even more. I just love tons of bows. I think they look so pretty. It's just my thing, and it's just so happy. And so really, you guys, however many bows you like, I think that's what you guys should use. I like tons of bows, so I usually ended up adding about 3 to 4 to 5 bows. And then here I'm just adding in some of those cute little eggs. And again, the eggs are from the hanging signs on Dollar Tree, from Dollar Tree. I just love to take them apart, and then that way they're so easy to pop into pretty much any wreath. And then the next thing you might want to think about if you want to continue to add to a wreath like this is to put in some florals. So again, I had some spring florals in my little craft stash. I believe these came from Hobby Lobby, like in a bundle, and I just cut them all apart. No, actually, I'm sorry, these came from Walmart. So these were from Walmart, but they came like in, 5 or 6 were on the bundle of flowers. And so now I'm just hot gluing them into my wreath because I am most likely going to use this outside. And so I want it to stay really well. And then I also wanted to add one of those cute little Dollar Tree Easter bunny heads to the top. And so I think it's coming out rather nicely. I did end up adding like some little berries up to the top and then down at the bottom, and again, a little bit more bows. Now remember, I told you guys at the beginning of this video that there would be a secret question in this video. So here's the secret question. What is the first flower or tree or plant in your yard or garden or outside of your home that blooms? So for me, it's going to be those little irises and daylilies that you're going to see popping up out of the ground that I'm sharing pictures with you guys of. Those are the first things that come out. And then I have a tree that's a redbud tree in my front yard that's so beautiful. It actually has like pinkish purple blooms, which is so perfect for my front yard. I can't wait to share that with you guys as well. And then also comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. I just love to hear what you guys are up to, what you're interested in crafting, and I just love y'all so much, and I want to encourage you guys to keep up the good work, just crafting and decorating and having fun. And don't forget to join me over on my group page and on Facebook, and that way you guys can share photos of your Easter wreaths and home decor. And again, it's just a blessing and honor to have you guys here.
Dollar Tree DIY crafts that we made. It is a beautiful moss basket. I was going to use it in my living room, but it sheds really bad, so I'm hoping to contain it and pop it in up here. It's going to give this space some height. And I have another little fun piece that I want to grab to put in here as well. So I found this grapevine decor piece. It was $3 at the thrift store, and they actually had it half off. I grabbed it because I knew I could use it for some kind of decorating idea. So So I'm gonna try and see if I can pop it up here just to give me something to kind of attach some florals and whatnots to. Now it may be tilting that basket way too far forward and taking up way too much space. I think I'm gonna have to do something different. That's not gonna work for this spot here. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. That looks kind of crazy, but we're gonna work with it for now. I also have this lamb's ear that I grabbed. I believe this was from Michael's, and I'm just going to kind of loop that in. I feel like lamb's ear is really nice for kind of like that spring Easter vibe. I've got my little hippity hoppity bunny, and I think she would sit really cute up in the basket possibly.
So unfortunately, Mrs. Hippity Hoppity Bunny dislocated one of her legs trying to hop into that basket, so she hopped back out of the basket and onto the little white shelf where she was able to nestle down into some greenery.
I have another moss basket that was like a DIY sometime back, and it was a Dollar Tree DIY. It sheds everywhere, but you guys can see this is just a little plastic heart basket left over from Dollar Tree. I kind of want to tilt it out of this way and pop it in just to give it kind of that really pretty like little spring vibe.
So for this display, I just continued to add in some little bunnies. Now the shelf is rather narrow, and so I have to kind of be creative on how I get them to stay. And then I just added in some pretty florals and some other Dollar Tree DIYs with that little checkered carrot. I'm going to link the rest of those Dollar Tree DIYs that I shared with you guys in my I Love Spring series. And here's that little checkered bunny from Dollar Tree that we painted in my last video. And so this little dining room shelf has a blooming spring floral, and it kind of works into my living room because we have an open floor plan, so you can see directly from the living room into the dining room. And it's why I always try to make everything kind of cohesive and also just really blooming and beautiful. Now it's time to share with you all a DIY on how to decorate a chandelier in a springtime fashion. I'm starting out with this beautiful lamb's ear garland, and I picked this up at Michael's, I believe, and all of their spring florals are about 40% off right now, so you can get a pretty good deal. And I really love the looks of this lamb's ear. It's just so soft and beautiful, and I secured it at the top of my little chandelier, and then I kind of let it cascade down, making sure to avoid any areas that might get tripped up in the actual chandelier part. And then I just felt like that was going to be so beautiful and blooming. I just wanted it to really feel festive and springtime kind of gardeny goodness in here. And then the next thing I did was, after I had the garland attached, is I just took some flowers and wrapped flowers around the edges of the garland. So you can just take and bend your little Dollar Tree flowers around the edges of your garland, and you can get really creative with this. And when I start doing a project like this, I don't go out and buy a lot of new florals. I really dig into the bottom of my craft stash bucket and just try to find the remaining flowers that I used from my shelf and from my mantle decor, and that way everything is cohesive, but I'm also really getting 100% use out of all of the florals that I bought this season. And here is how my blooming chandelier floral is looking so far. For the next DIY in this video, I want to share with you all how to create a super easy floral arrangement. So this is almost like a hack. So I had gone to Hobby Lobby and found these beautiful blooming peonies for 50% off. And I bought 2 sets of the peonies and then 2 sets of the multicolored florals. And these are already on their stems. So if you don't have time to cut stems off and arrange them, you can just buy several bundles, kind of fan them out. As you guys can see that I'm doing with my fingers, I'm kind of fanning them out, and then you just kind of twist them in to the next bundle. And these are actually flowers that I had left over from Valentine's Day. So when I bought these flowers, I really made sure to buy them to where I bought the right colors that they could transfer from Valentine's Day into spring. And I feel like with the vibrant mix here, I can even use these into summer. And the other little tip I have for you is I have this beautiful Mackenzie Childs little pitcher, and I will tell you that they do a barn sale and a clearance sale, and their items are rather pricey, but you can pick these up on a clearance sale and get a lot better deal. So that was a little splurge that I made last year for all the hard work that I do, because I really wanted one of these pitchers to have something to make a really beautiful floral with. So every once in a while, it's okay to treat yourself here and there, especially if you work really hard to shop a clearance sale or get the items when they're 50% off, which is what I always do when I'm looking for something that's a little bit more high end. So as you guys can see, I'm just kind of finishing up this floral, and I did pull 1 or 2 of the flowers down, and that way it looks like they're fresh flowers and almost blooming over. So for the next DIY, I want to share with you all how to create a beautiful springtime blooming Easter tablescape. And I'm starting out with this beautiful, it's a paper plate from the Pioneer Woman Easter series, and also these napkins. And you guys can find these available at Walmart right now. And check it out. There's a brie and broccoli quiche recipe on the inside of this napkin. So you're not only getting a beautiful napkin, you're also getting this amazing recipe from the Pioneer Woman herself. And so I just love that, having dual purposes on items. Now these cute little bunny plates were from Hobby Lobby, and again, all of their Easter and spring decor is 40% off. And I did go ahead and pick up the little bunny ear napkin rings to go along with it. And to set my beautiful Easter spring tablescape, I'm going to pop the flowers into the center. I decided to also use this cake plate, which I love to do, to add to the centerpieces of my tables, and it was $5 at the Target dollar spot. I'm going to pop this in here so I can give some height and dimension to some of these candlesticks that I'll be adding. This is that DIY Dollar Tree egg topiary that we did. I'll leave my I Love Spring series in the description box if you guys need to go catch up on any of the DIYs that we've done so far. And here's some pretty little Hobby Lobby candlesticks that I found on 80% off. And then those little flickering flameless candles are amazing. They're battery operated, so don't panic when you see me nestle these candles into this arrangement. They're completely fine to use in and around your flowers because they're just battery operated, and they're great if you have pets or kids and you don't want to risk accidentally leaving a candle on, which sometimes it's hard for me to remember to blow my candles out. So I really love these, and they just make a really soft romantic glow. And then now I'm just going to add in some little goodies. These are those little Dollar Tree Decoupage bunnies that we created, again just using some pretty napkins and Mod Podge, and Mod Podging those Dollar Tree styrofoam bunnies. These little checkered eggs came from Hobby Lobby, and then some of these $1 Target dollar spot carrots. So I'm just kind of creating a really whimsical blooming Easter spring tablescape. I wanted this to just scream in cheerfulness and just so many fun goodies.
Now this little goodie I found at Tuesday Morning. I've had so many of you all ask me about this. I don't have a DIY on this, again, because I did find this at Tuesday Morning. It was a pretty good deal, and it looks to me like something that, you know, Mackenzie Childs would put out, but not the Mackenzie Childs prices at Tuesday Morning. You can really find some high-end goodies there for a pretty budget-friendly price if you hunt long enough. Now these little chargers I got at Hobby Lobby last year, and they were on a big clearance sale as well. I'm just going to add them to pull in that black and white, and I just think that the stripes are really fun and festive and a little bit unexpected for an Easter spring tablescape. And then the next fun thing that I wanted to add was these little Pioneer Woman melamine plates. They're actually plastic, and I just wanted to use them to layer underneath the little bunny plate. And I realized later that I needed to probably have used the smaller bunny plate on top of this, but you guys can still get the effect or look of this. And I just think that these Easter bunny plates are beautiful. I think it's a fun thing to do, to buy Easter plates or seasonal plates, and if you can find some nice paper ones, then you're not storing a bunch of seasonal plates. Even though there's nothing wrong with having seasonal plates, I just have a really bad habit of kind of hoarding and collecting too many dishes, and we have a really small kitchen with very limited storage space, so I just really have to be careful on the choices that I make. So I'm adding in these cute little checkered cups, and then my little bunny plates off to the side, and that way if you were going to have bread and butter on your Easter table or some kind of little treat off to the side like a dessert treat, but really more than anything they just look super adorable and so festive, and these will be easy to store because they're rather small. So I hope this gives you guys some fun ideas on how to create a beautiful little Easter tablescape using some of the items that we've crafted so far, and then some of the items that I picked up at a pretty good bargain. And then that beautiful candelabra you all see is from the thrift store. Now the next cute little DIY I thought would be fun to share with you guys is I have this longer napkin, and I'm going to pop it into my napkin ring, but because my plate is so beautiful, my little paper plate, and these are paper napkins, but I didn't want to cover up the plate, so I wanted to share with you guys a quick little hack or trick on how you can do that. You can leave the napkin all the way unfolded and then just slide it onto the edge of your plate, and then just gently tuck the edges of the napkin under, leaving the beautiful bunny parts exposed, but then your guests can still access their napkin easily, and they look really beautiful on the table, so everything is still shown. I really hate to cover up any of those pretty bunnies. Now the next little hack or DIY I wanted to share with you guys is I bought this beautiful candelabra at the thrift store, and I found these cute pink candles at Hobby Lobby, and to get my candles to stay upright and not wobble around quite so much, I'm just taking the candle and dripping a little bit of wax down into the bottom of it. That way the candle can kind of adhere to the candelabra a little bit better. Now this wasn't foolproof. I did have to do a couple of them twice. So let me know if you guys have any other ideas for me on how to keep my candles from wobbling around, but this seemed to work fairly well once I got them all to stay. The other thing is be very careful when you're doing this. I do have like a disposable plate underneath this candelabra. That way I'm not going to drip any wax onto my pretty tablescape or any of my goodies. Also, if this is something that you need to be careful with around your kids or pets, because I do have a lit flame. So just a little side note on that. But then now, how pretty and festive are these pretty pink candles? And I will just mainly probably light them for a special event. So fun and fabulous, and springtime goodness and joy.
Now the next little fun DIY that I included in this video is how to make a quick little bundle of some greenery and florals. I'm taking some Dollar Tree little florals here, and I have about 5 or 6 little stems, and I just pulled them together in a bundle with my hand, and then I'm tying them off with a pipe cleaner. So just gather a little bundle of flowers. These are some Dollar Tree lilacs, and again some just little white spring flowers, and then I gathered them together with the little pipe cleaner, and now I'm just going to pipe cleaner them on to the base of this candelabra. And this candelabra is really tall, so I felt like they would be just fine to be down here at the base of the candelabra. And again, I'm probably only going to light these candles like on a special occasion or when I'm sharing with you guys something in this video, just to make it look really romantic. But the pink candles are so pretty, I really would hate to burn them, so I do want to save them. The next thing I decided to do was create a pretty little bow to kind of tie in some of the festive spring colors, and also to cover up my pipe cleaner down there. So I found this ribbon at Walmart. Again, I'm running so low on my Dollar Tree ribbon because I've done so many crafts for you guys already. So I just grabbed this little ribbon and I made a quick little bow, and then I'm going to tie the bow on with just another kind of piece of ribbon here. And I'm trying to really kind of conserve the rest of my Easter ribbon because I still need to do a garland on the outside of my home to show you guys. I love to do a big pretty front door garland that we can take pictures for Easter at. And so anyway, I'm just tying this on over where the pipe cleaner is. That way you guys can't see, or you know, the pipe cleaner part can't be seen. And then I'm going to dovetail the end of my ribbon by cutting in an upwards direction to create like a little boutique finished on the end of that. Now I'm going to use some of this pretty check ribbon, and again I'm just going to take the ribbon, loop it over on itself, pinch it in the center, and tie it onto the center part of that bow. And then I have kind of this blooming candlestick, and it will be very easy to pop in and around any space. Now for this video I did share with you guys the candlestick on my table, but I ended up taking it and putting it up on that pretty little shelf that we decorated earlier in this video, just to kind of get it out of the way. It was a little large to go all the way on this table for regular everyday use, but it did turn out really festive, and the addition of the bows and the spring greenery was so nice. For the next DIY, I wanted to share with you guys how to make a super fun, easy little Easter tree. And this would be so delicious and fun to make with your kiddos or grandkids, but we are going to make Easter peep corn. So you want to start out with some popcorn, and I just chose this microwave kettle corn because it was not super heavily buttered. You want to try to get some that's like doesn't have a whole bunch of butter on it. The next thing I want to do is take a tablespoon of butter and melt it into a saucepan. And if you're having kiddos help you with this, you know, help them with this part. The next thing I did was take my popcorn and separate it out into 2 different bowls because I want to do 2 different colors of peep corn. And so it was roughly about 3 cups per bowl, and you could measure it if you wanted to, but I didn't really feel like that was necessary. I just decided to eyeball mine. Also, you can pick up Peeps at Dollar Tree, or you can pick up the bunny Peeps at Walmart for about $1.24 a pack. And you want to add 5 to 6 Peeps per saucepan mixture. So I'm starting out with 6 Peeps for my pink Peeps, and we're just going to melt the little Peeps down and then pour the melted pink Peeps over the popcorn to make a delicious peep corn. And it was pretty fun and satisfying and a little bit sad to watch the Peeps melt into the pan. But I think this would be so fun to make with kiddos and just help them. The other tip is to watch out for heating your saucepan a little bit too hot, because you don't want your Peeps to turn like brown. So now once my Peeps had melted and they're all gooey, you want to quickly just dump them over your peep corn, and you can use a spatula to kind of scrape the rest of the little marshmallow goodness out of here. And then you can kind of give it a bit of a stir, and it is going to be fairly sticky, so just a side note on that. But I thought this was so fun and easy, and you could add more or less Peeps depending upon how heavily you wanted your peep corn to be coated with the marshmallow goodness. You know, marshmallow's pretty sweet, so if you wanted it less sweet, just take out a couple Peeps, and if you wanted it more sweet and almost to make into a popcorn ball, you could add in more peep marshmallow. So give it a bit of a stir, and then you'll be ready to choose a fun little container. I found these super adorable little Easter cupcake liners, which I thought would be the perfect thing to make and use for some peep corn if you're going to be serving it to kiddos or grandkids or just your family in general. I know my hubs came home and had some, and my daughter loved it. So I'm just going to take it and pop it into the little cupcake liners. And so I did end up doing a set of pink and then also a set of purple. Walmart also has really cute serving cups that are like 4 to 5 to a pack that are a little bit larger. And then even I found some really beautiful ones at Dollar Tree yesterday. So just a little side note for you guys on that if you're looking for like super adorable little serving cups. Now I created some purple peep corn, and I'm going to pop that into my other cups so it kind of looks like purple, pink. And then even if you wanted to go a step further and make this even more festive, you could pop in some M&M, peanut M&M or regular M&M in the Easter candy colored flavors. And you could add sprinkles. I mean, really, you guys could get so creative with how you want to do your peep corn. Now here's those cute little serving tins that I was telling you about. Actually, they're little cardboard cups. They come in a whole pack at Walmart for 94 cents. Dollar Tree also has some really beautiful pastel little serving cups as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and pop in some of my peep corn, and I decided to mix in some of the purple and pink and just how festive. And I just felt like this was so fun and easy, and I think it's magical to watch like things melt down, even though it was a little bit sad that my Peeps kind of had to, you know, be melted down, but still so fun. And you can see that they kind of stick together pretty easily. You could almost make a good little popcorn ball out of this as well. So I hope you guys got some inspiration for how to make some DIY peep corn. And of course, Peeps come in blue, pink, purple, yellow, so you could do peep corn for boys and peep corn for girls. And this would just be such a fun little easy party snack. You could package them in some plastic. And here's an idea too, if you wanted to add in some little Easter candy sprinkles. They have these at Walmart for $1 and some change, and they just make everything look really cute and festive. I love the pastel colors again. And then here's also an idea if you wanted to use like some candy coated Easter pink or pastel M&Ms. They have them with the peanuts in them, and then they also make pastel Easter M&Ms without peanuts. So, you know, if you wanted to jazz it up even further, comment and let me know what your favorite little Easter fun treat is. But I just thought this would be a cute one to share and rather budget friendly. So for the next idea I have is to create Peeps in a basket. So I took one of these larger Walmart containers, and again, this was, I believe, 98 cents. And I'm just going to take some Easter grass and pop some Easter grass into my little container. You guys could really use any container or Easter basket. And then these little Peeps are at Walmart for $2.97, and I actually bought them for all of my kiddos for Easter, but I couldn't resist popping them out and using them. And my kids are in college, and my daughter, the youngest one, is in junior high, so they won't really see these until Easter time. So I thought it'd be just a fun little DIY to share with you guys, to do some Peeps in a basket. You know, when they were little, I used to always love to decorate very whimsical and fun, and I really still do. So I just thought this would be so fun. and an easy way to just do a little DIY. So you could do this with your kiddos and grandkids as well. You know, just popping some Easter basket grass in, and then popping all your little cute, fun, colorful peeps in, and then I'm going to get dual purpose out of them, and they're going to receive these in their Easter baskets as well. And yes, I still make Easter baskets for my college age kids. I don't know. It's just something I'll probably do. I may do it until they have grandkids, or who knows. Benji Bear will probably get an Easter basket, as well as Tinky. They'll get some little pet treats. So anyway, there you guys have that, a fun little DIY, inexpensive little Easter peeps in a basket. And then they looked really cute, popped in next to my peep corn. I think that's so fun, peep corn. Who knew? DIY peep corn. So adorable. And then here's just how everything looks together. And then the little welcome peeps sign was from Dollar Tree. So here is just an overview of how the entire tablescape turned out. This is really kind of over the top and whimsical. I almost wanted it to feel like it was like an Alice in Wonderland tablescape, and just really beautiful. And I wanted to give you guys so many different creative ideas. I feel like this year I just want everything to look really happy and fun. And I also wanted to share with you all how I incorporate a lot of my Dollar Tree DIYs. So you guys see me craft and create these DIYs before the season starts. Kind of, we get started really early crafting all these DIYs, and then this is how I use them. I'll kind of store them out in like a little storage closet, and then once it's time to fully decorate, I bring them in and really use them in and around my home. So there's the little checkered bunny we created, the little Easter egg topiary, the little Easter bunnies, that little Dollar Tree basket. All of these are all Dollar Tree and Trash to Treasure baskets. And there's that little bunny. That was just a little plastic bunny. That is in my last video. And then there's those Dollar Tree wooden carrots. So a lot of you all ask me what I do with my decor. I decorate with it. All of the DIYs that you all see me make, for the most part, I completely decorate with them unless I am giving them away to a friend or a family member.
Share with y'all how to make a super adorable Happy Easter sign. Well, actually, we're just going to take one of the Happy Easter signs from Dollar Tree and super jazz it up. So I'm taking some of these eggs that I detached from a Dollar Tree hanging sign, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the base of the little Happy Easter sign. Now, the Happy Easter sign was super adorable as is, but it looked like maybe it was left over from last year's DIY and part of it was missing. I like to take things apart, you guys, but then I hang on to things because I think they're cute and I'm going to use them for later. So here is our use for later. Anyway, I tied a quick little shoelace bow with this Dollar Tree. It's kind of like a ticking striped ribbon. I love it. It's in their crafting section. You guys need to check their crafting section for some of their new ribbon. And I'm going to hot glue that around my little bunny neck. So now I've created this kind of 3D effect at the base of the sign with some eggs. Then I want to create a pretty little floral up at the top. So I'm just taking some of these little Dollar Tree florals and I'm going to hot glue them to the corner of the Happy Easter sign. Now this step is optional, but you guys know that I really love my florals and my bows. And so I'm also going to take some Dollar Tree ribbon, and this is just the cute little burlap polka dot ribbon. I'm going to add a little dibble dabble of hot glue here, and then I'm going to kind of ruche the ribbon. So I'm going to create these little loops and just push them in to where I had hot glued. So this is kind of a fun little hack, especially if you're doing like a swag or a corner part of a sign, is just kind of ruche the ribbon. That way it kind of cascades over that edge, but we don't want to actually cover up the happy part. So be sure when you're doing this that you're checking like the edging of where your letters are so you don't end up covering that up. The next thing I thought to do was, hey, let's look a little bit more fun and fabulous with some embellishments. So I'm adding in this cute little Dollar Tree carrot, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the center part here. And then I'm going to add these cute little eggs. These are Dollar Tree speckled eggs, and then just some of the little foam glitter balls. Now what I'm really doing is I'm kind of using up the rest of the last of my Easter crafting supplies. I really love to try to get the most use out of all the supplies that I've
purchased and create as many things to really deck out my home and make them fun and fabulous on a budget using mostly Dollar Tree supplies. So anyway, that's how we're doing this fun little sign, and I think it's looking super adorable, jazzy, and really kind of boutique-y. I popped it outside on my little garden bench, and I can't wait to share with you guys how I'm going to do more of these little fun outdoor kind of porch Easter designs, just to give you guys some ideas on how you can jazz up your home on a budget. You really don't have to go out and spend a ton of money, especially if you already have some little crafting goodies you've been kind of saving back. So as you can tell, it's a nice spring day. We have a bit of a breeze and we have loads of sunshine. Now over the weekend, we had a ton of rain, but we had this nice, beautiful day, so I took advantage of it, hopped out into my porch, and decorated. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to show you guys how to take this little pink Dollar Tree. It's just kind of like a little shopping basket or storage basket, and I popped 2 little dumbbells, like little arm weights, down into the bottom of it. That's going to help keep it on my little front garden bench outside of my home because I don't want it to blow off. We do get a lot of wind, and so anyway, now to fill this out but not use any foam, I'm taking these branches of the florals and I'm pulling them apart. So they're going to kind of cascade over the side of the basket. I'm using Dollar Tree wisteria, some lilac branches, and some other pretty little florals, and see how I'm just like kind of pulling out the branches and then kind of pushing them in, and they're going to almost kind of gather and stay held together on their own. We're hoping anyway. I used a mix of pink and purples and whites. It's what I'm going for out on my front porch with loads of pastels. I want this porch to feel happy and alive and bursting forward with bright spring colors because that's what actually blooms in my garden. So I'm layering the florals in. Again, I kind of want to go every other one with the florals and just kind of cascade them in with each other and mix them in. I hope that makes sense. But again, loads of bright spring colors. That's what my little front porch garden looks like. I have daffodils and daylilies that begin to bloom first. I have this beautiful redbud tree that actually blooms these pretty pink purple flowers, and my whole front yard is going to come alive with purple irises. And so these decorative pieces for me really mix in with what naturally are going to be going on outside of my home, and I'm going to share with you guys along the way some different little pretty clips of what's blooming out in my front yard. Now I'm just going to take one of these little Dollar Tree Easter eggs, and I just had hot glued like a little pipe cleaner to the back, and that way I could twist it onto the little handle here. And then I'm just going to reuse some little Dollar Tree ribbon. I'm going to make a quick little loopy bow here, and I'm going to tie on the loopy bow with some of this yellow polka dot ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I will admit I did have to supplement some of my Easter ribbon with a little bit of Hobby Lobby and Michael's ribbon and a little bit of Walmart ribbon. So I just picked up like a roll or two at all the different places to kind of zhuzh up my Easter decorating because I really did not hit the jackpot this year at Dollar Tree with their ribbon section. So either somebody, found some before mine, or my store just sold out quickly, or maybe my store didn't even get in a whole bunch this year. I'm not totally for sure. But again, I did find some pretty Easter ribbon at Walmart, a couple of little goodies at Hobby Lobby, and then I think I may have gotten one at Michael's, or it may have been left over from last season. But here is how it looks. So fun and fabulous. Now it's going right along with this garland I'm going to share with you. This pretty little hat that we did. It's a Dollar Tree hat that we zhuzhed up and jazzed up. And again, it's a blooming floral. And I can't wait to share with you guys how my yard starts to bloom and mix in with these pretty decor pieces. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super fabulous over-the-top Dollar Tree Deco mesh garland. So I'm starting out with some Deco mesh that I found at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut about 12-inch strips, and I'm using my little can of beans to kind of hold on to the mesh so I can get an easier cut. And once I have my little 12-inch strips cut, I'm just going to set them aside, and I'm going to take some pipe cleaners and cut them in half. That way I can get the most use out of my pipe cleaners for this project, because I'm going to need quite a few bundles. I want to do an over-the-top garland on my front door. So the next thing I want to do is take my Deco mesh pieces and roll them up like a little burrito and pinch them in the center. And I want to do 3 little burrito rolls for each bundle. So I have 3 little roll-ups here, and then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and just tie that off. So you want to twist tie it pretty tightly in the back and then set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and do that same process over and over and over. In fact, I actually popped a show on Sunday evening and pre-made a bunch of bundles, because it is a little bit time consuming to make your bundles and do your garland this way, but the effect is so magical in my opinion. It just looks so full and blooming and beautiful. Now I probably used 15 rolls total for this entire garland, and this was, I believe, a 9-foot garland from Walmart for $2.48, and I picked it up during Christmas time. So the next thing I want to do is take, and I'm just going to twist tie my little pieces of Deco mesh onto my garland, and I'm starting in the center of my garland and working my way out. So that was the method to my madness for this one. And I'm going purple, pink, blue, and then white. And these are the colors that I had on hand in my craft stash. And I've actually been collecting this Deco mesh for about 2 months now. Whenever I see it at my local Dollar Tree, I'll grab just a couple of rolls. And I did have a couple of rolls actually left over from last year. So I used probably about 10 to 15 of the little small Dollar Tree rolls, but this was a really large garland and I needed a lot of mesh. So don't quote me on 10 to 15, but I think it was probably somewhere in between there. I should have counted my little empty rolls probably. But anyway, go ahead and continue to add all of your mesh. And if you can't find mesh at Dollar Tree, don't panic. They have lots and lots of mesh at your local craft store. I've even saw it at Walmart. Okay, so here is what everything is looking like so far. This was a little bit of a tedious process, but I continued on just gathering my mesh, placing them in the garland, and then twist tying them to the back and trying to make it bright and colorful and fun and happy. I did one of these last year above my door, and it was actually around the time that we went on quarantine. I don't know if you guys remember this time from last year, but we've been sharing a lot of memories from that time, and it's just interesting to look back on all of it, and just continued prayers and love sent out to everybody right now that is still experiencing some different changes. And I think everybody has experienced different changes along the way. So anyway, I'm going to continue on with this garland and just add in beautiful pieces of mesh as I go along until I get to the very end of the other side. Now for the next DIY part, I'm going to share with you guys how to make a quick and easy little Dollar Tree bow. I'm going to use all ribbon from the Dollar Tree, starting out with this purple kind of sheer ribbon, and I'm going to make a loopy bow and with my little bow maker. And this is the easy bow maker. You guys can order online off Deco Exchange if you want, or get it at your craft store and use a coupon. I believe Michael's carries it, is what you guys have told me. I ordered it on Amazon last year, actually, when we weren't able to go to any stores, and I kind of paid a little bit too much. So anyway, go ahead and add in some pretty ribbon, whatever you have on hand, and then I'm going to make my bows about 1 inch shorter as I go along. So I also want to encourage you guys to make a little bit of a larger bow when you're pushing a bow into your Deco mesh, because the Deco mesh kind of like eats your bow. I've learned that over the years of making these kind of the hard way. So I'm layering in some little Dollar Tree egg ribbon and then some pretty pink sheer ribbon. I love these bow makers because they do help my hands, especially after I have been doing a lot of crafting with this garland. So it's going to hold on to it for me, and all I have to do is press it down there, and I don't have to pinch those bows together. Now I do have a huge bow video I will link in the description box of my YouTube video here. if you guys want to check out how to make a bow without a bow maker. So whatever suits your fancy, go ahead and go for it. Make a fabulous, beautiful bow, and that is going to really make your garland pop. So have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. The last little ribbon that I wanted to add too is this pretty little burlap ribbon. Dollar Tree always carries this. This is not a seasonal ribbon, and my store has been out forever, and they finally stocked it. So I went ahead and grabbed a roll of the polka dot ribbon and the chevron ribbon, and then the little lace ribbon. So anyway, I went from about a 7-inch to a 6-inch to a 5-inch, and this is more of like a 4-inch. And then you can just pull your little bow out and take a little pipe cleaner, and I'm going to pipe cleaner the entire bow together. And then the last step to my bow, also a little side note, I always try to use wired ribbon with my bows. So that's a really helpful thing to do. And then you want to really fluffy up your bow. So give it a nice good fluffing. The next part of this DIY is I'm going to take apart these little Dollar Tree signs. And these are the hanging signs. I love to buy these for every season because they're such a perfect size for garlands. And then I'm taking some popsicle sticks and just breaking them apart. And what I'm going to do with the popsicle sticks is I'm going to hot glue a piece of the little pipe cleaner to the back of these eggs and decor pieces, and then add in the pipe cleaner. Now I used halved pipe cleaners, but I found out the hard way that I should have used a full pipe cleaner. So if you're going to be popping these into this full of a Deco mesh wreath, use a full pipe cleaner. You'll know what I'm talking about in just a sec. So I'm just taking apart all of my little hanging signs, and you get a lot of bang for your buck if you like to do crafts, if you're going to buy these hanging signs. Anyway, I'm going to take the pipe cleaner, add a dab of hot glue to the back of these, add in the pipe cleaner, and then press that down with the little popsicle stick. And there you have a perfect little pick, and it's like a little sign, and it just really is going to jazz up your garland or decor or wreath. And again, but don't forget, use the longer pipe cleaner. I was just using these half little pipe cleaners, but it made it really hard to get down into that mesh when I went to attach it into my garland. It wasn't impossible, but I will tell you it was pretty difficult. So anyway, learn from my mistake there. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to start in the center of my garland. I'm going to put my garland together here on the table just to give you guys a better idea. I'm going to start in the very center. So this is going to be in the center point of my door, and I'm going to add the biggest bow to the center. And then I'm going to work my way out. I'm going to try to space it as evenly as possible. Usually I put my garland together on my door so I can get an exact measurement, but it seemed to work okay, and I only had to replace 1 or 2 bow where it needed to be moved up or down. The next thing I like to do is give it a good fluffing as I go along. This little polka dot ribbon actually is some of the ribbon that I found at Walmart. I thought it was really cute, and it was a pretty decent find. I think it was a couple of dollars, and you get quite a bit on a roll. So I'm giving my bows some good fluffing as I continue to work my way down the garland, adding in my different little bows and making it so gorgeous in springtime fabulous. Now it's time to really jazz things up, and I'm just adding in those cute little bunny signs, and it ended up saying bunnies all welcome, but I probably should have reversed them and put all bunnies welcome. Kind of a hazard of the trade when you're crafting and decorating upside down for the camera. I'm also adding in some cute little Dollar Tree eggs, and here is how it came out. Oh my goodness, it's a burst of happy, hope, joy, and sunshine at my front door, and it matches in with the little wreath that I shared with you guys how to create a couple of videos back in my big DIY video for spring. And so hopefully you guys are just getting some positive, happy vibes. Bunnies welcome all, or all bunnies welcome, however you guys want to read the sign. I have to give myself some grace, truly. I love crafting and decorating, but sometimes I find that I do the funniest little things, especially when I'm trying to work upside down and backwards for the camera. But here is how it turned out with all the beautiful bows. It was a nice little springtime day. I had a bit of a breeze. A lot of you all asked me how I attach my garlands to my front door, and I will tell you that I have 2 little nails on either side of my house. Probably not the best idea as far as my house, the side of my house is concerned, but let me tell you, it really holds things up really well. I've tried to use command hooks before, and they seem to flop out, for me anyway, but I do put a lot on my garland. So here it's how it's looking all on my front porch. And the next DIY I'm going to share with you guys is how to fancy up a cute little lantern using the leftovers from your garland. So don't throw away those leftovers. We don't want to throw away any mesh or ribbons. So I did have a couple of bundles of mesh left over from my garland. And so I'm going to take those little bundles of mesh. And again, these are just rolled up in little burrito bundles, and they're about 12-inch mesh cuts. So I'm going to decorate this cute little lantern. The lantern I did find at Dollar General last year, and I'm just going to kind of cascade the mesh down the side of the little lantern slats, and the little pipe cleaners, I'm just twisting them in the back, as you guys can see, and then they're going to hang on to this fairly well. Now bear with me, it looks a little funky as we go along, and you're not going to see those pipe cleaners once we get the bows and everything attached. So I'm never too worried about what color my pipe cleaners are because they're always covered up. Okay, the next thing I want to do is take some of this Dollar Tree leftover ribbon. These were just the 2 little pieces that I had left over from my big garland, and I'm going to take a larger piece of ribbon and just tie that on to the top part of the lantern. So this is just a quick little hack how to make a super easy bow. This is not hard, you guys. Just take 2 little loops, tie a big piece of ribbon on top of that, fluff out those little loops that you had originally, and then I'm just going to make a quick little shoelace bow by tying a little bow right here on the side of it. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thing I wanted to add to the top part of my lantern was some of these cute little Dollar Tree speckled eggs. Again, I'm kind of really trying to dig into my stash and finding things that are super adorable and Easter spring related that I can pop in to just jazz things up a little bit. So I'm hot gluing them to the center part of the bow, and then I'm going to hot glue a couple of other little eggs to the inside of the mesh, just again to give it some dimension and some Easter fabulousness, if that's such a thing. And I'm kind of cascading the colors in white, and then the aqua, and then the purple, and oh, I think it's just looking so poppin' and beautiful. And I did decide to use a couple of the little glitter vase fillers just to kind of even bring in some more of those colors. So there's yellows and beautiful aquas and purples and pinks, and I just love these colors. They just make me feel so happy, and they're so vibrant and springtime fabulous. And again, this is what my yard is going to look like in a couple of months as everything begins to bloom out for spring. Now I'm just going to pop in this cute little bunny, and I had picked this up, gosh, years ago, I believe at the Target dollar spot. He nestled perfectly into the base of this. This is also going to keep this lantern from flying off my garden bench. And then I just put a cute little happy Easter sign back there, and then I'm putting in some little vase fillers, so it kind of looks like my bunny is kind of hiding back here in like a little nest of jelly beans, and I thought that was just so clever and fun. It's the little things, you guys. And then here is how it has all come together cohesively as a whole, with all these beautiful vibrant colors blooming and welcoming my guest home, especially my kiddos when they come home. I know it just makes them feel so happy to see my beautiful decor. They always comment on it, and even the neighbor kiddos like seeing it, I believe, as well. I know I love driving up and just having this pop of color and happiness. So as always, I ask that you guys comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafting and decorating adventure. It's such a true blessing and honor to have each and every one of you all here. If this is your very first time here, hey, I'm Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home. I am a DIY crafty mama. I'm a one-woman show. It's me, you guys, and my little tripod and camera. I just love to craft and decorate. It helps me so much with anxiety and depression and all of those things. I've been crafting and decorating ever since I was a little bitty girl, and it's just something I'm super passionate about. So the fact that you've clicked on this video, it helps me out, it helps me keep going with this channel, and that you guys are here because you guys are this community. I wouldn't be here if you guys weren't watching my videos. So thank you all so much. I have been doing a devotional in each and every one of my videos since last fall, something new that I was super nervous to do because I didn't want it to upset people or turn people off. I didn't want to lose subscribers, but I felt like, you know what, if I can help just one single person by taking that leap of faith and sharing what helps me, I think we'll all be a little bit better for it, because I know not everybody is able to craft and decorate, but maybe you can be encouraged. And something else that I want to encourage you guys to do is try something new. Recently, I have started fake baking, and so these are Love Shack Fancy original prints I have added to these fake bake treats. They are not perfect. Each one is what I call handmade with love. I have about 10 new cakes that are going to be coming to my Etsy shop, and they take about 10 days to make, to be honest with you. Each layer takes about 2 days to fully dry. So they're not finished yet. I still have to add the roses and the little goodies around the edge, but they are so handmade with love. If you guys don't want a larger cake, you guys could also do a smaller cake. I do have some beauties left from my last listing. All of my cookies are selling out. These are the fun little mini cookies that I have been sharing with you guys. So thank you. Okay, so if you guys have been a returning subscriber, you might know that I recently switched to tea. I'm having a little bit of green tea, and we're going to read in our devotional. The other thing I've been reminding you guys, because I'm turning 50 this year, and I recently lost someone important and dear to my life to cancer. It's very difficult for me to talk about, and I'm not quite ready. I'm not there yet because this is crafting and decorating, but I've been on a health kit, just trying to really clean up my health. So drink your water, drink your tea, or coffee, I think is fine too. But we've been doing a devotional. It's called He Whispers Your Name. You can order off of Amazon. It's by Cherry Hill, and my sweet friend Stacy sent it to me. If I could get my act together, I would stock my Amazon store, and I have some stuff. It's in the description box below with you guys, but I'm too busy crafting and decorating, honestly. But anyway, and just thank you guys for being here. Just even talking about losing my loved one to cancer, it was my sister, is a lot to even say. So this devotional is called The Answer. I see you exactly where you are through the trials and struggles that create turmoil in your soul. I have not forgotten you, and I am with you. I am always walking with you by your side, a ready help in time of trouble. I want you to be aware of my presence and my great love for you, and then I want your heart to understand what your mind knows. It is faith that will dispel the gripping fear that keeps you from the peace that comes through trusting in my promises. You do not need to be afraid when you walk through the valleys of life. They are part of the journey and not the destination. I am for you and with you in the midst of all of your uncertainty and despair. I ask you to do only one thing. Look to me. I am the answer to every situation. I am your rock, your strong tower, and the author of your salvation. I am your only true hope, and therefore find your hope in me. All else will fail, but I never will. As you're facing the trying situations in your life, know that I am able to do all things. Everything is possible with me. Your hope should not rest in anything but the cross. All the cross there is redemption. At the cross there is redemption and resurrection. Jesus bore it all for you so that you could have a life of victory and hope. The cross is for you right now in the situation you are in, so that you might find my love and power in your life for every situation you face in life, no matter how impossible things might seem. I am your answer. And the scripture that goes along with that says, everything is possible with God, and that's Mark 10:27, which is one of my favorites. Wow. Everything is possible with God, and God is walking with us, you guys, all the time. And so I want to remind you, if you're in a difficult situation right now or a difficult time, God is walking with you, and that there is still joy in the midst of all of your sorrow. You might not see it, but there's still joy. There's still so many things to hope for, so many things to be just crazy in love with life about. And I'm going to tell you one of the things, and I woke up this morning, it was like, I woke up this morning, God gave me another day. Another day is a gift. What if we looked at every single day as a gift? How are we going to bloom? How are we going to forgive? How are we going to let our hearts be light and happy and joyful? Well, one of the best things I have been able to do to forgive others and myself is to just walk with God. Just that daily little walk, those little prayer cards in the morning, my devotionals, my praise and worship music, and forgiving, constant forgiveness, just constantly forgiving. Don't even letting all that junk build up. And it's hard, because we all get our feelings hurt, and there are things that happen that may seem unforgivable, but I know that there are people that have forgiven the impossible. If they can do it, I can do it. And sometimes forgiving ourselves is one of the biggest things, not something I struggle with. I'm very shame driven. And so it's easy for me to, be really hard on myself. So if you're like that, give yourself some grace. Girl, you got this. Or guy. I know that some guys do watch this channel, but it's 98.9% women. So anyway, I love y'all to the moon and back. I am so thankful and blessed to have you here. This channel is for crafting and decorating and just some of my little things I have going on in my life. So I am looking forward to the future with so much joy. My son, Max, and his fiance, Skylar, they're engaged and they're getting married this year, and my heart bursts with so much joy. It makes me want to cry just to talk about that and them. And actually, this little garland we did in the last video, I'm going to be doing several of these for their aisle for them to walk down, and I have just so many extravagant ideas in my head. I wish I had the budget to do like one of those crazy weddings, but you guys know me, I'm going to do it boutique gorgeous on a budget. So no matter what budget you have, we can do this. We can make things pretty. Somebody asked me recently about this little get together. I found this little curtain at a thrift store, and I put it on a curtain rod, and I just have it hung. Let me show you guys. I have it hung from just two little kind of candelabra things. And then this is a mirror from Hobby Lobby. I painted it a couple times, so I think pink is probably my favorite. And then I didn't have any fabric that I like, so I just cut a piece of curtain, because why is fabric so expensive? Not curtain, this is a sheet. I just cut this sheet to make fake curtains. And then this is just a little fake fireplace out here. I am in my garage studio. I call it my Christmas crafting studio, but right now it's my spring Easter crafting studio. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the love and support and encouragement on these cakes. How gorgeous are these? And how much better at the icing am I getting? It's actually the most relaxing thing that I have really found that I'm doing lately. Just in my spare time, I just sit down. I hope you guys are having fun crafting and decorating no matter where you're at. Give yourself some grace. Have a gorgeous, blessed weekend. And until our next video, be kind to yourselves, be kind to one another, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.